right, welcome everybody to Thursday Night Forum. We are on the eve of a new season that beckons a lot, promises very much, just like the last two seasons, hopefully. But hopefully we'll have a different outcome. And Tony knows it's a roller coaster. It's a season full of roller coasters, Tony.
Yeah, but what do you think about roller coaster in Italy, right? Would you?
That was a little bit extreme for me. A little bit extreme for me. I don't want to see the Arsenal equivalent of that.
It just starts with like a 200-foot drop.
New and improved Tony today from last Thursday night. His volume is much higher. Gary, we can hear him now. We can hear him.
And now we want him to check out the mute button.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. We can hear Tony. It'll be a new season full of Tony telling us Saliba was never meant to play for Arsenal.
It wasn't.
Don't start.
How are you, Gary?
I'm doing good. All right. Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else, Gary?
No, I'm doing good. Let's just get to the season. Sounds like our transfer business could be done. Lawrence will get what he wants. Which is no more transfer business.
That, aneurysm.
Well, I'm already having it.
Now do you mention that, Stan and Lawrence, why do we do this? Why do we follow a team that can make us happy but can make us sad in equal measures? Why do we do it, Stan?
Well, first off, good evening to everyone who's tuning in. Shout out to the people in the chat box. Moss is in there. Miss Melina, welcome. BX is in there as well. Keep in order. Shout out to the panel as well. And as you say, it's we're on the eve of a new season. This is what we've all been waiting for. It's unbelievable to see that. It's just a few days away now. A couple of days away and we'll be kicking ball in anger. So it's going to be interesting to see what we've learned from the pre-season, what the lineup's going to be. And doubtful, it looks like there's going to be any new faces between now and the new game. But we still have a couple of weeks to go to see some new faces come in. However, I would say that usually in the past couple of seasons, Mikel Merino has always seemed to have tried to get things done early and have the new faces in for pre-season. So, I'm not saying I'm worried, but this isn't the usual pattern for our transfer window. And I was kind of under the impression that we were kind of awash with money. With all of that Champions League money that we brought in, up in the 90s millions. I also heard stories that we were kind of like pulling financial levers with the bank to get sort of TV revenue sort of like brought forward. So I thought there was going to be like a big thing happening this summer. But there are 2 weeks left, so it's really hard to judge at this point. Anything can happen. I've seen us do business on the last day of the season in the past. Mesut Ozil, all right, he didn't pan out for me, but still it shows you that things can happen right up until the last day.
Yeah. And from what I'm hearing little murmurings of Edu going to Spain to personally save Mikel Merino, bring him home to the Emirates. I'm hearing little things about Eddie Nketiah. He could end up at Crystal Palace yet. Who knows with Eddie Nketiah? But it looks like Bournemouth was an opportunity for Eddie to go to Bournemouth, but Bournemouth have gone and bought a Brazilian kid from Portugal. And, of course, Marseille have pulled out of the deal, Lawrence. So, listen, I think there's a policy of one out.
You know why? Because they were listening in last week and they caught what Lawrence was saying and they're like, it's funny that, when the pod goes out, Marseille pull out of the deal. Cheers, mate.
They called me.
Lawrence has scuppered the Eddie Nketiah to Marseille deal.
I find it amazing that Arsenal think Eddie Nketiah is worth the same amount of money as Emil Smith-Rowe. I just find that totally amazing. Because Emil Smith-Rowe is 10 times the player Eddie Nketiah is. And for Arsenal to up 30 million for a forward who can't hit a barn door from 30 yards out. It just blows my mind.
Yeah. If it's a Sheffield barn door, you can hit it 3 times.
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually disagree with that,
definitely.
because if you think when Aston Villa came in for Emil Smith Rowe a couple of seasons, 2 or 3 seasons back for about 35 million, that was at a point when Emil Smith Rowe was playing more regularly, off the bench notwithstanding, but still playing more regularly. And since then, he hasn't hardly kicked the ball for Arsenal, hasn't figured in anything, hasn't featured anything, has had some injury problems, and we still managed to get 30 million for him. I thought that was pretty. I was like, okay, that's a pretty good deal for someone that hasn't featured, and it's known publicly that we'd like to move him on as well.
But
Eddie,
Stan, but Stan, is Eddie worth 30 million?
See, sometimes as well, I always
think
think that you can have a valuation on the player, but if you're the buying club, it's how much do you value in that? And Marseille obviously didn't, right? I think I can't even remember what their bid was. Was it something like 27 million or something? It wasn't too far away. But then what do you do? In the past, what have you heard the fans say? Arsenal are really shit in the transfer market. They get their pants down, their pants pulled down all the time. What are they doing? So now they're trying to play it a little bit more staunch. And now it's like, what are you doing? Just take the money and run. So what is it? Arsenal obviously believe. For me, I think it's a case that if nobody comes in and buys Eddie Nketiah, I don't think Mikel Arteta will be too bothered. He's not going to be, oh no, I fucked up. Oh really? He'd be like, okay, yeah, Eddie can still figure. I think he looks at it like that. But if someone comes, and I'm not saying that I agree with that, but if someone comes in with the 30 million, then they'll probably be open to letting him go. But I don't think that Mikel Arteta is kind of shoving him out of the door.
Yeah, to think that when we have changed, like the illustration of changing our policy on getting tough with selling players started with Eddie Nketiah. That's kind of where we're at right now. Emil Smith Rowe was always going to leave for about 30, 35. A decent price because of the talent that he has, the potential that he can bring to a team. Both scoring and assisting, and the price that he was sold for was a little bit low because of his injury record over the years. You know what I mean? So if Emil Smith Rowe had been match fit playing for Arsenal regularly, we'd get into the 40s for Emil Smith Rowe, and that's where you say Eddie Nketiah.
Oh, hold on. If Emil Smith Rowe had been match fit and regularly playing for Arsenal, we probably wouldn't be selling him.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I really hope that is the case as well, that, Mikel Arteta always had faith in Emil Smith Rowe. Was just his injuries. And that's
You
how
didn't have faith in him, right? Or he would have played him.
Well,
And let's not forget that Smith Rowe saved Arteta's personal coaching job.
does that not say that he kept faith with Emil Smith Rowe then?
No, because Aubameyang got benched, so he brought Smith Rowe in, which he wasn't using. He was fit last year, plenty of times. Still they use him.
Too much a challenge, Gary. Come on.
No, if we're gonna go history.
Time machine again,
If we're gonna go history, won't we just start from the beginning, right, Tony? I mean, Emmy won him a trophy, and he saw how he treated Emmy. So Emil Smith Rowe may have saved his career for a little bit, but doesn't mean anything, does it? So Eddie Nketiah, for me, it's not necessarily only that Arsenal's playing hardball. I think they were playing hardball, and I think they did a good job to get the number up to where it was. I don't know why the extra 5 mil makes a difference, in the sense that the risk is that you won't be able to bring in any more players based on the way that they're handling their business right now. And we are sitting on the cusp of potentially being able to win a big trophy if we can bring in the right player, right? We're one or two players away, basically, right? We are luck in terms of injuries away. We are return to form for some of our players. We've got a trifecta of things that will help us get to that point. We don't know if Martinelli is going to return. We don't know if Jesus and Tomiyasu are going to stay healthy along with Partey. And we know we need depth. All right. And on the way, based on the way they're handling business right now, is they need to sell players, right? I think Ornstein said it today, or was it yesterday? Basically, Merino may come, but it sounds like an exit has to happen first. So it sounds like one in, one out kind of thing. And if that's the way they're handling business, I think you take the little hit on Nketiah, because one thing that the difference between Emile Smith-Rowe and Nketiah is Emile Smith-Rowe in one season has more goals than Nketiah, who is, I think, is somebody on this show has said, it's probably the player with the most tenure at the club. And if so, that doesn't add up. So how is he worth? We're close to Emile Smith-Rowe. Emile Smith-Rowe has shown that when healthy, he can do it. And Nketiah's been healthy pretty much the whole time he's been here. And guess what we've got for it? Nothing really to show for it that we can say, look, he is worthy of a big time contract, right? Yeah. Over 30, close to 30 mil. I think for me, the risk is selling him or winning a trophy. I'd rather sell him at a loss than lower my chances of getting a trophy. That's what I think. That's all that stuff that we talk about. Why wasn't Arsenal more ruthless? Well, that was when I think they should have been ruthless from day one. They're ruthless now, but it's a little too late for me. They're like on the cusp. They have few margins to cross right now. We've been in second 2 years in a row. How much better can we get? All right. And that's why you need something big. You don't need something marginal to get us across the line. You need something big right now, because that's the problem. We can't break, you can't break down that wall. That's where we're at right now. We need something to help us break that wall. Yes, Isak would do it. Bruno Grimage probably could do it. I think Osman could even do it. But we need something bigger or we need more depth. One of the two. Something big, or just make sure that, guess what, injuries aren't a concern anymore.
Come on, Gary. You can forget about Osman since he's
I'm just. It's not.
PSG.
You're not listening. You're not listening to me. You're just hearing a word and jumping on it. I said we need something big, or we need depth, Tony.
We need something bigger than what Eddie could give us year after year after year, because that would represent.
We were in the same position 3 years ago, but we decided to give him a 4-year contract, $100,000 a week.
So, the way the chat's going as well, I suspect we're going to spend a few minutes about realizing where we are now and where we were 4 or 5 years ago. And there's a little bit of conversation to be had with that and the amount of windows that was needed to reinvigorate the squad. I think we become a little bit we become a little bit entitled without actually the trophy showing for us. We have, as Gary says, there's levels to this. BX said, I'm not disrespecting any player because God knows I can't do it, but Eddie isn't up to the level we need to win the league. And that's true. I said this the last 2 seasons, trying to imagine Arsenal winning the league title, the Premier League, with Eddie Nketiah, even if he's the second or third striker, was a stretch, and it proved to be at the end of the day as well. I'm on my holidays in Portugal. Disrespect everything what Stan the man says. He's passing the brown envelopes. Okay, so you're repping the club there, Stan. Is that what that means? I think, right?
You know what? Sure. You're getting brown envelopes. Excuse me. You told me you weren't getting paid.
Blue M&Ms.
You're a liar, and I don't like liars, Stan.
that money is just resting in my account. That's all.
See, damn.
Stan has a war chest.
Wow.
When you don't talk about Stan,
you're gonna have to talk, Stan.
Talk about Stan the man.
Whereabouts are you in Portugal, by the way? It's a lovely place. I've been there a few times and I've worked there. I'd like to know where you are. Probably in the Algarve, maybe, if you're summer holidays. But he has asked another question that I saw a little bit further down. He wanted to ask me, and it was a question to Stan. Does he always accept failure with Arteta? Because it's clear to show that he does. By December, we are halfway to a 9-year trophy drought. What Wenger went on.
Halfway to a 9-year.
Yeah. So I think for the first part, he says that I'm sort of like backing Arteta even when he's failing. If you watch this show back when Mikel Arteta got appointed as the manager, he wasn't my pick. I was actually in the camp that I wanted to stay with Unai Emery. Not because I thought that Unai Emery was, some like God football manager, but I'd looked at Man United and I thought to myself, look how many managers I've gone through since their last legacy manager and Alex Ferguson. A revolving door. Teams never getting an opportunity to settle or get built because another manager would come in and try to put his imprint on the team, and then he'd rip up what the previous guy had done, and it's just, you're in a state of flux. So I didn't want to change managers because I was scared that we would go down that road. When the club appointed Mikel Arteta, I was like, okay, well, let's see what this guy does. And if you watch back on the shows, I've never been one of those that goes Arteta in or Arteta out. If you remember, I used a percentage slider. Mm-hmm. And I got to a stage on this show where I was like at 80% that I wanted him gone and that we should get a new manager. And it was like 20% to stay. So that's how bad it was at one point. I've not been, an Arteta. I didn't vote him in. I didn't want him in, and I didn't back him at first because it was terrible at first, the performances. And that's what I base it on. It's the performances, not necessarily the personality. I'm all for policy, politics. I go for policies over personality. I'm that sort of a person. But now, with the way that he's running this team, this team is in the mold of Arteta. And I think he's in too deep at the moment for us to change him. I still think that, I want to see what he's going to do this season. I've enjoyed 2 seasons ago. It's probably one of the best football that I've ever seen us play. And I thought to myself, how are we going to play any better than that? I've really enjoyed watching the football. And in the following season, I thought we were better. And, as a fan watching football, that's all I can ask for. And I'm hoping that there's going to be trophies and league titles that will come with it. So yeah. I hope that kind of answers your question. I don't think that I back failure. I'm in it for the trophies, and for me, I want a Champions League. I want us to win the Champions League soon.
Yeah. All I want to do in these few years, hopefully, we're going to be in the ascendancy. I want to gather as many trophies as possible. That even means the Carabao Cup and FA Cup, because those things do matter as well to Arsenal fans. Abdi said, 5 years, 1 trophy is a sackable offence. But we've come a long way in those 5 years. We've overhauled a squad that had numerous shitbag 6 players in it. Even Callum Chambers. He had to go in the end, Tony. Chambers had to go.
Not for free.
And I remember Stan on that sliding scale. He was 10%, hanging in there, 10% at one point.
Yeah, it got quite high. And also, I would say as well that I keep going back to this. Alex Ferguson didn't start winning stuff at Man United in the first season. It took a while for him, and he was almost out in his ear. Look where that went. I just think there's a little bit more gas in the tank with Mikel Arteta. I want to see where this is going. But when it gets to the end of this transfer window, if we haven't brought anyone else in, I will be critical. But I want to wait until that window shuts before I make my comments on how I think we've done in this window.
Mm-hmm. Abdi goes on to say we make up reasons and come up with contacts every time this manager comes short. Big clubs have big standards. Yeah, and listen.
So in that case, it's not that many big clubs because right now, outside of Liverpool, City is the biggest club in England. Nobody's even coming close. Not even coming close. Real Madrid pretty much wins everything. PSG pretty much wins everything. We've got a surprise last year with Bayern Munich, right? Not winning anything. So the concept of a big club is, I don't know. It's not the same as it used to be. There are a lot of monopolies right now in terms of who wins the trophies in a lot of leagues.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to get back there, and they, like anything else, they want it to be a microwave and happen really quickly. I mean, I think it could have happened faster for Arsenal, but when you start with an Arteta, you're not going to do anything fast at that point. That's like asking a an academy player to come in and play like Messi kind of thing, right? It doesn't happen overnight. Those things take time. That's what you're asking Arteta to do. And he's not. Ask any manager in their he's in his 6th year now. He'll be in his 6th year soon. Ask what manager in his 6th year has had to do exactly what Arteta is being asked to do. You can't find one. You can't. You can find one who's got 10 plus years, comes into the Premier League, and within 5 years is doing stuff. But you can't find one in their first 5-6 years of their career doing what you're asking Arteta to do. So, I mean, that is the cards that Arsenal has decided to go with. They draw those cards and they're going to play them out. So I'm not happy with it because it's taken longer than it should. But this is kind of the cards we've been dealt, right? They want to see it through. They want to see him take this from where we were to where we want to be. I think. But we shall see.
Yeah, as you said, Gary, Arteta's gained the respect of the ex-Gunner. Coming in without any managerial experience, it was not something really that a lot of fans wanted the club to do. But like Arsene Wenger coming in, they took a gamble. The club took a gamble on Arsene Wenger, and that turned out. And now they've done the same thing 20 years later or 30
Can I
years
just
later.
say as well, put it on record, Mike, my percentage sliding scale,
Yeah.
I'll tell you where it is now. I'm about 88% that I like him in. I'm on about 88%. Yeah. There's a few things, at the end of this transfer window, that percentage is either going to go down or maybe even further up. And then the sliding scale starts to work as the season progresses, right? Depending on results and performances. But at the moment, I'm on about 88%. That right. I like Mikel Arteta. And I know that I know that AFC always disagrees with me. That I'm sticking by a fraudulent manager and that. I can't really debate. I can't really, argue with you because it's just my opinion. Do you know what I mean? And what I'm seeing, and I always base it on what I see on the pitch, where we're going. And I really see that there's improvement, but I'm really looking forward to see where we go this season. And it can change. I can change my opinion depending on what I see.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Everybody's got an opinion on Arsenal, and your opinions do not always have to align together. You know what I mean? So, Lawrence, I think I heard news about Edu going out to Spain to get this deal done with Real Sociedad for Merino. And I think I heard somewhere that he wanted it done by the weekend as well. So by the time we do kick off on Saturday, the Merino could be a done deal. But there's this deal has stalled. They're about 8 or 10 million apart, right, Lawrence? In the valuation.
I'm not holding my breath, as I said. They've been telling us this. This has been a done deal for the last 5 or 6 weeks.
What?
And I
His name didn't even come out. His name didn't even come out for 5 weeks. Come on.
It's been posted online for the last 5 or 6 weeks.
5 weeks.
Merino is a done deal, right? People have been saying, he's off to Staples to get the ink for the pen to sign his contract.
You're making stuff up now. I believe you're making stuff up now.
I seriously believe that this is going to blow up in our faces again. That a player we've been heavily linked with is not going to move, or he's going to join someone else.
I'm going to defend Lawrence here because
I've heard this
last
before.
week he said
I've been through this every season now. Arsenal dragging their heels again in the transfer market. The way this club conducts its business in the summer transfer window is a joke. Okay.
Since when?
Other clubs have got at least 5 signings in. We've struggled to get one signing in already. Okay, and this now we're doing it again.
No. This window, yes, but not in the previous ones. We've always got players in for the pre-season. We had this conversation last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Remember?
Well,
Come on.
Vancouver Rovers.
All right.
Come on.
it's,
You remember.
I'm sorry.
Patience,
I'm
young son.
I'm just
We don't
not.
need.
This is
You're
what
rushing
Remember?
us.
this is
We all
what
agreed all the
pisses
time.
me off about this club. You know, the way it handles. How many more fucking goalkeepers do we need? Well, we need a bloody striker
Fair.
and a wide man. How many
Did,
we now linked with another fucking goalkeeper.
Lawrence.
don't forget
The guy that disagrees with me is now saying that Lawrence is speaking facts, and we literally disproved last week that is not a fact. Pre-season.
Well,
so
yeah. Here's the thing, though, Lawrence. I mean, okay,
this
this summer has been slow for Arsenal.
Yes. Yeah.
Couple of reasons. We need to move players on, which Edu has to engineer some moves out of the club for Eddie Nketiah and Reece Nelson and a couple of other players before we can bring one in. Mikel Merino has said publicly, or he has assured Arsenal, he's just waiting for them to pull the trigger for him and bring him in. He's ready to go. He's
And
ready to come
Yeah.
in.
Well, I seem to remember a certain Ukrainian player who now plays at Chelsea saying the same thing. So, as I said, right.
Well, Marino's not
I'm
working
not-
as hard
I'm
as
not
Mudryk.
holding myself
Magic was press ganged.
He was.
A sack was put over his head. He was bundled in the back of a van, and when he got out of the van, he was at Chelsea, not Arsenal.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
weird
He's
stuff.
like, how the
Yeah,
fuck
well,
did I end up here?
Like I said, I'm not holding my breath.
All right.
And
Listen,
as I said, is this summer, if Edu and Arteta fail to bring in sufficient cover for the positions that are needed, and we end up without a trophy again this season, then they've got to go.
yeah, and the two positions now are midfield and the forward of some sort, right? So those are the two positions that we're talking about this summer. But to tell you, this summer is a little bit unique because we had the Copa America, we had the European Championships. In the previous 2 to 3 seasons, Arsenal and Mikel Arteta have urged the Cronkies and Edu to move fast, get their acquisitions in, and have a very good preseason, which we've had at least the last 2 summers before this summer. That's the facts as well. Now, Lawrence, I understand you and Craig in the chat and Abdi feeling a little bit of stress. We're all feeling it a little bit, but some of us are vocalizing it more than others. We want those we all want those players in. We want Mikel Merino in, and we want a forward in. And unfortunately, we don't have Mourinho in that's going to help us this weekend. We don't have a forward in.
I don't think one midfielder is enough.
Well,
I agree, totally.
two positions. There's two positions. There's two midfielders can play, Tony, every week, and we have Partey, Jorginho, and Declan Rice.
Three can play every week, right?
Well, I'm talking
Rice
about
plays
Odegaard.
every game. Rice plays every game. Pick whichever one of the 3 midfielders you want. He's got the spots done.
Mhm.
All right, that's the way it's going to work right now. You know
Odegaard.
this. You know that right now. And Erdegaard has the other one. So there's only one spot really and truly that we need to fill on a regular basis. And we're already
Facts,
thinking that.
guys.
We're already thinking
I
that.
thought you want Dusty, Gary.
Apparently,
I want Marino.
Mikel
I want Marino,
more
but you're
players.
we have like lots of
He's
spots.
not each week starting
Gary.
player, is he? Apparently.
Gary, let's do simple math. You want us to increase with depth. We have sold and gotten rid of more players than came in. So we still don't have enough.
You
So
only really sold one player.
that's
And then
And we brought one in, so that's even
Smith
now.
Rowe.
So what else?
Rowe.
What are you talking about? So
And the other thing as well, Tony, is you're going to get
Youth.
your academy kids. You're going to
Youth,
get a couple of
exactly.
academy kids sitting on the bench, Tony, as well.
Exactly.
we've sold more than that, Gary. You got Zombie Gun, you got other
The same-
totally.
East
the
player
same-
gone.
They weren't even in this squad last year.
I
So
would want
I don't
to.
Yeah,
count
but
them on
that's
that
because
list.
you didn't
You're
have
counting
enough
a
depth.
player that wasn't even in our squad last week
Gary,
as one that takes up a spot. They don't take up a spot.
Gary,
It didn't take up a spot.
we
I wanna-
normally have between about 6 and 8 midfielders. We
Oh, he's
keep
right.
on
We
selling
got
them and not bringing in as many.
You haven't bought
So
any
you're
yet.
not gonna get your depth until you bring in more.
When did we have 6 to 8 midfielders? Was that in a 4-3-3 formation or
Yeah,
a
when did we have 6
4-3-1?
midfielders?
When's the
We've
last time
had-
we had 6? I guess is the big question as well.
Yeah.
When was the last time?
Well,
6
we had
teams
that
gonna
when
play.
we had El Neni. Well,
Yeah,
I'd like to ask Craig and Abdi, are they happy that the 2 academy players could break into the first team as well? Are they happy that Waneri and Lewis Miles Skelly will be part of the Miles Lewis Skelly will be part of the setup as well? So let me know, Abdi and Craig, what you're thinking about that. Mike
About
said,
fucking time, Ray.
yeah, well, Tony's happy about it. So one area is gonna boost your
I'm not
midfield
happy
options as
about
well.
it. I'm not happy. I'm not ecstatic about
Well,
it.
you use it
Right.
as a stick. You were using it last season as a stick to beat.
I've used it the last 3 years. Ray.
So now
Well,
he's doing it and
Tim
you
on
don't
Spurs.
care. So what's the point of all this? Why are you beating him with a stick if you don't really care? Do you care or you don't care? Which one is it?
Which one is it?
Well,
Tommy?
you've lost 2 possible great
2 possible
forwards.
what?
Great
You lost-
forwards. Potential
Who-
there. You had Balogun.
Reece Nelson's got to go.
Oh no, you're not talking about Balogun again.
Balogun, come on. That's
Cheeto.
That's in the
He's
rearview
he's
mirror.
gonna bang this Cheeto drum and this Balogun drum now.
Come
I was
on,
thinking
you
about
like
Reece Nelson.
Cheetos, right?
You think they were going to play?
I
You
love
think they were going to
Cheetos.
play?
But Reece
You-
Nelson.
If you
All
come
right.
on,
Uh,
come on, you don't. We don't want that. We need a little bit higher than that level
Nuggets.
or potential, right? Right, and they wanted the money, so they went and got the money. Wanting to be
Actually, not
ruthless,
funding.
they went out and sold a player and got money for it. Everybody's upset. All right.
yeah, we give this manager another year because we're that close, Abdi. What are you gonna do? You change manager, you might not improve things if you change manager. I'm just saying.
What manager are you going to bring in? And nobody has a. There's not a really definitive answer for that right now.
A general never changes his course
outside of Klopp
Pochettino.
and Pep, right?
Yeah.
What managers out there are you going to say bring him in? That
There you go.
instantly
Listen,
you got a trophy coming.
the lads are happy with Miles Skelly and Waneri coming in as well. So I do think we have.
Should be for Charles.
If you, I think under Arteta, if you're an academy kid and you're breaking into the first team, you're a hell of a good player, and that would be Ethan Waneri and Miles Skelly as well. So hopefully they get minutes through the season as well. The fact that we came back to London and they still got places on the bench and started some games is a very, very good sign for me. Craig says, stressed, we've been 20 years. Exactly, 20 years for a league title, 30 years without a European League Cup, and 4 years without an FA Cup. So, yeah, the clock is ticking, and all of us here want to see those trophies flow in as well.
Well,
And it has to be in the domestic cup stand as well.
yeah, for me, the clock is ticking on this window, and there were 2, perhaps 3 players that we really needed to move on in this window that are still there. And for me, one of those is Eddie Nketiah, the other one is Reece Nelson, because they're just obviously 2 players that the manager doesn't trust. So what's the point in having them around? But the other one for me is I'm worried. I'm a bit concerned about Thomas Partey. I would have liked to have moved him on earlier and got a replacement. It looks like it's too little time to do that now, and he seems very fragile to me. I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to get out of Thomas Partey, because he's even when he's looked fit at times, he started to those last 2. I keep saying it. The last 2 games of last season, he was absolutely shit. However, he has looked a little bit better in pre-season. So, I mean, a fit Thomas Partey playing at the top of his game and fully confident is a great footballer. But I'm just worried how many times we're going to get that. So I'm nervous about it.
Yeah. And Thomas Partey is one of those enigmas.
And the other one is obviously Teabag. Sorry, Gary, but could this, you know,
That's
we
why
always
he
forget.
doesn't play well, because you call him I bet you start calling him by his mama's name, or the name his mama gave him.
The way he doesn't play well.
Stan, show him some love.
The way he
Stan.
doesn't play well.
He's so
young
upset with that
Fabio,
name.
right? But the thing is, it's almost sometimes last season we almost forgot he was part of the squad. You know, that's another body there. Can he do something this season? Can he play some meaningful football for Arsenal this season?
Yeah.
Because I do think there's a player in there. You know.
You know, the unfortunate thing, and I was thinking about this morning as well. You can go through the Arsenal squad and pick out 6 or 7 players who will be afflicted by injuries through the season. You know, in the back 5 or 6, Tomiyasu's one that's going to give you some issues. Zinchenko. Yeah, exactly. Tony, this is your slot. Come on, Tony. Kivior might be injured at times.
No, is Kivior been? I thought Kivior had been all right.
Kivior hasn't been injured.
All right.
Maybe Timber coming back from that injury, he may need to be sort of like kept in the wool a little bit, wrapped in wool.
Jesus has had the injury.
Jesus, dodgy knee. Calafiori's had a history of that bad injury, right? So we don't know about him yet. We don't know.
Fabio Vieira.
Partey.
Yeah.
You say his name twice, it doesn't add to the list, all right?
Gotta slip him on twice.
All right. And Abdi's
because we've seen 2 of them.
Abdi has been with us a few times now. We've seen you before, Abdi. So
yeah, Ramsey as well. That's another one that needs to be moved on, isn't it? Ramsdale. Sorry, you know, he should be playing football somewhere else. He's not going to be happy playing. He'll play less games if Raz fit than he did last season, because he can play against Brentford now.
Yeah.
That has to be done. You think that has to be sorted out, surely? Do you know what I mean?
I think they're waiting, and some people are saying they're just waiting for people to realize that their goalkeeper either is terrible or gets injured, and then they have look. You can take him on loan with an obligation, and we move on. That's the only way that happens, right? So, yeah, and I mean, but then Arsenal still needs a replacement. I don't think they have a number 2 right now. If they let him go, so they might have to just be ruthless and hold on.
You think I can do that in 2 weeks, Gary? Do you think I can?
I think
get rid of Ramsdale.
You just pay the $1 million for Bentley and they move on, right? If that's the guy they wanted in the first place, right?
I also think if somebody came and put money down for Zinchenko, I think Arsenal would listen. He's definitely down the pecking order for me. Not just for me, but for a test by the looks of it.
It leaked out that Tomiyasu's on the selling list.
Here's a hot take from Abdi, though. He says Partey is the second best TM in the league behind Rodri, only if he stays injury-free.
I don't think so at all.
Over Rice?
There's 2 parts to that right now. Is injury-free and does he actually get his form
he's qualified
back,
that,
right?
yeah, in parts in terms of the injury. But if he's injury-free, do we see Partey as the second best number 6 in the league?
I don't think so.
Declan Rice, when Declan Rice is deployed there, I think he can do a better job than Thomas Partey.
Declan Rice doesn't play like Declan Rice doesn't even. You saw what it looked like when Partey played in that position, right?
The good
Partey,
and the bad.
Rice isn't. No, I mean when you saw what it looks like when he plays the position the way Arteta wants it, right? You've seen
Rice.
that.
He likes
right?
to move the
Rice isn't close to that player yet.
But consistency.
He can play every game, but if he can't play the position correctly, what's the point? He can't move the ball up the pitch, right? He will not make that pass, that line-splitting pass. He won't make it. Erdegaard's got to stand there waiting for it all the time. It's not the ball just gets stuck because he won't make that pass. And he's not. You know what? He's not comfortable with it. I'm fine with that, but that's what we're missing. We're missing somebody who's actually able to make that pass. He won't do it. You know, he hasn't done it.
He tends to move the ball up the pitch and get his yardage by kind of doing short dribbles, moving the ball and running with the ball. Whereas Thomas Partey, he'll get the yardage like a quarterback. He'll spot a line breaking forward pass. I think on his day, you know, fully fit, fully confident, I think Thomas Partey gives us something different to Declan Rice. It doesn't mean that it has to be one or the other. You can still fit Declan Rice in that team.
So, in an ideal world, if they I don't know how many games they've actually played together. Probably not many, right?
Not
but
enough.
in an ideal,
Not enough.
not enough. In an ideal world, would Rice play ahead of Partey?
Whoever
Yeah.
plays in the number 8 role has
Yeah.
to be box to box. Is it Partey or is it Rice?
Yeah.
Whoever is the best at going box to box plays left 8, and the other one plays as a 6. That's the key, because that's what Xhaka was doing. Xhaka was going box to box. He was shit for us as a DM, but playing in that left 8, he was still going back defensively. I remember things were happening, and it was like someone in the box, our box, was defensively kicking the ball out. And I'd look, and then he'd be up the other end of the pitch. Whoever plays left 8 has to go box to box. Is it
He
Declan
didn't.
or Partey? If
He
they're all
did
fully fit, a question: if they're all fully fit, right, and we've got Odegaard at left, right 8, and you've got Partey and Declan Rice, which one is the 6? Which one do you play as the 8?
I think Rice is.
I think I'd have to play Rice as the 8 and Partey as the 6, for sure. The difference.
I suppose with Rice's youth, he could do the box to box probably better than Partey at his age. Yeah, okay.
I still think we've made a
I'd go
huge
with that.
mistake.
Michael said Rice could have a great season. He seems to enjoy Partey alongside him as well.
I'm gonna go back to transfer business for a second. Yeah, I do say that winter where we didn't sign anybody, that buying the wrong player would upset the project. I think not buying the right player upset the project. You could add Bruno for $32 million. We were flirting with him for $90 million.
You can't get him for 32 because guess what? He's not worth 32. So we are not in Back to the Future.
That was 3 years ago.
We cannot jump in a DeLorean and go back and buy him, and everything changed. I'm sorry, we can't do that.
We were interested in for
No.
$90
We're talking about today, Tony. Today, we can only fix it today.
Well, it was Marty, right? Marty, we have to go back. We have to go back.
Gotta go back, Marty.
It's your kids. No, it's too late.
If
No.
you're gonna sit here and analyze something, Gary, you have to take the whole.
No, I can't take something that happened like 10 years ago, Tony.
You can upload.
We're doing time lapse.
Sideways.
Time lapse photography.
Tony's going to start spinning around in circles for us in a second.
I like Michael's analogy there. He says Rice is Patrick Vieira, Partey is a Gilberto. I see that.
And he also thinks Zinchenko is still first choice for now. For now, Michael Zinchenko is first choice.
No, you know what?
Because of preseason.
This is the. You know what? This is one of those like in an emergency brake glass, and the grass is like 10 inches thick, and you still have to break it. That's what this is when Zinchenko comes in. They're like they have the big machine, and they're like, we have to break this glass even though we don't want to. Do you think
Zinchenko's going to start against Wolves then?
We have no choice.
Do you know who could be that box-to-box player? That's Zinchenko. I said Zinchenko could be the box.
He hasn't played enough. He's a footballer. Don't come from the moon.
You know how Arteta works.
In the Euros, for fuck's sake.
You know how Arteta works. You know what? If Arteta really loves him, he'll be playing. We'll find out. All right. I just don't think he loves him that much.
He loved him for season and a half.
If Tomiyasu and Timber were still fit, would Zinchenko be starting?
Michael said we are winning the league as Man City will get points deductions.
Zinchenko's last. Like I said, break glass. We've broken the glass 3 times already, and that's when we left with Zinchenko. All right.
Okay. So listen, we're going to get into a couple of predictions for the season. I haven't given all of you very much notice, but we're going to go through 7 topics. I don't know if Lawrence is participating. He might just do it for the fun, right, Lawrence?
Lawrence doesn't.
He twists my arm. He twists my arm. I'll participate.
And push you.
Wait. Okay. That's all it would have taken the last 10 shows, 20 shows that we've done? Now all of a sudden your arm's twisted. What's going on?
No, I'm back upright. I'm not on my side.
Give me your top 4 at the end of the season, Lawrence.
Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Aston Villa.
Okay. Aston Villa.
Can I just
Okay,
say,
so-
though, right? That's an unfair question because my answer is going to be based on the team now. But in 2 weeks' time, the team could be different. The window. So I mean, how do you know what I'm saying?
That's why we usually do this
answer.
after.
So you
An
want to
answer.
jump? So you want to
usually
jump
do
to the
this in
future? He
September.
wants to go back to the future. What is going on with this show? Can we just
Marty,
talk into
you got to
here?
go forward.
Gary, you're right. You're
We
right.
usually do right. We usually do this either of a September international break or
Surely
by
the windows.
October.
Hey,
You've
Ray
got to
decided to do
surely
it
the
today.
window's
Don't
got
tell
to
the
be
man
shut.
what to do with his show. Tony, step off.
There's
Yeah.
always
He's trying to say you might go like how many goals we're going to score, but in 2 weeks' time we sign like Isak, and I'm like, oh damn, my answer would be different. I'm just saying, right?
yeah. There will be other predictions as well. There's 3 different prediction
Can't wait.
competitions this season. Yeah. All right, Stan. With the season, with the window coming 2 weeks from now, what is your prediction for the end of the season?
Well, with the current squad that we have right now at this moment in time, so you can put that in brackets, I would go with Man City first, Arsenal second, Liverpool third, and fourth, Newcastle.
A canny pick. All right, Gary.
I wanted to see what Tony was going to say first. See if he's going to go
Ooh.
back to the future or jump to the past, whatever. All right, but I got Arsenal first, City. I think a lot of people have been asking, is that City before or after their point deductions? But City nonetheless.
Yeah.
I got
Notwithstanding.
I got a surprise at third, but I we go Villa and then
Ooh.
and then Liverpool.
Okay.
I just don't see how you can give them point for stuff that happened 4 to 6 years ago.
I can, Tony, so that's what that counts. So that's
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying.
they can
So
do
I
whatever
pray
they
for-
want. What are you
I pray
talking
for
about,
every night.
Tony?
Before I get into bed, I get down on my knees and I pray to the Lord, and that will happen. So
What's the difference between like 3 months and 3 years? Nothing.
if it can happen
Because
to
all the
Rangers,
players-
it can happen to Rangers. It can happen to someone else. I mean, Rangers
Because most of those
probably.
players are gone, Gary. Why
I'm sure they had less than 100.
penalize
Hey,
you?
the fact that it's dragged on this long means they can do it whenever if they choose to do it. If they really wanted it done sooner, they wouldn't have let it drag on this long. This is part
They
of
reckon the
City's.
answer will be in February,
It will be like a transfer.
so the season might be
thing.
finished.
Transfer ban.
I'm gonna go Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. I'm gonna put Chelsea in there to continue what they were doing last season.
Okay.
Yeah, I
the
don't
end
want
of the
them getting
season.
any kind of feeling any kind of positivity.
I don't want it either, but I feel like that might be it. Abdi says City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea as well. So, Tony, what have you got? What's your top 4, Tony?
City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Villa.
Lolo?
So
Harsh, man, harsh. Put an
Finally back
Arsenal
from vacation.
third, Tony. What up, Gunners? I'm finally.
So when they finish second, he'll be complaining. Yeah.
They got a lot of resources, didn't they, Chelsea? But can this new geezer, can he find 11 of them that can play a balanced game? There's so many. It's like, am I going to pick 11 out of all this lot? Do you know what I mean?
He's got like 40 or what's the
Ridiculous.
We might be champions for the last 2 seasons if City get punished.
I
Yeah,
was just reading that they've now done a deal, right? Apparently, I didn't read the story. I just saw the headline now. Napoli and Chelsea have done a deal for Lukaku going one way because Conte really wants Lukaku, doesn't he? Really wants Lukaku.
Yeah.
Osimhen is surplus to requirements, so that could be happening.
Going the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we might see Osman in blue in the Premier League for Chelsea. Definitely. Tony.
He said he didn't want to go there, right?
Tiger said Arsenal, Liverpool,
PSG.
City, and Chelsea. What, Zubimendi? Whoa, I said it. Zubimendi. Osman, right? Tony,
Osman.
how many clean sheets did Arsenal have last season?
He's in the Drogba, isn't he?
I don't fucking know, Ray. Probably 15 or so.
I think Raya had 15 by himself.
So about 15. Arsenal had about 15 clean sheets.
That's just Raya.
And Ramsdale had one
Was it
of
just the
those
one?
Brentford wins, 1-0. Yeah, because he had that clearance blocked for a goal when we beat them 2-1 at the death. So we had about 16 clean sheets last season, Gary. I'm gonna say 18 clean sheets for Arsenal. That's what I'm gonna pick. 18. What do you think, Gary? Do you wanna go after Tony on some of these, right?
Yeah, I want to go after Tony.
All right. So you want to go after Tony, or you want to go after Tony?
Let's see.
He wants to do
You know
both.
what? I need to go after him and before him, and then after him again because he's.
You have to catch him first.
We had 18 clean sheets last year, so
we had 18. Okay, I'm going to pick 18. Tony, how many clean sheets will we have?
Basically what we had last year. It's not going to move much.
So what number is that, Tony?
17.
So we're gonna drop. All right, got it. We're gonna stay the same, but we're gonna drop. I get it.
You did say basically.
I said basically the same, Gary. Plus or minus one's basically the same.
These two, Alonso.
No, I don't know.
All right, Lawrence.
Lawrence, isn't that basically the same? Plus or minus
is this all competitions or just Premier League?
Yeah, all Premier League. And you better be careful because Tony likes to take his bragging rights from this exercise. So be very, very careful. You want to beat Tony.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Higher or lower, as Bruce Forsyth would say. Higher or lower than 17?
Right, my love.
I don't know. 16.
16.
Our team is going to get worse? What in the world's going on with you people?
Now.
All right, Gary, what did you go?
I'm gonna go 22.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say.
22, yeah. You don't think our defense will get better?
I mean, that seems to be what the team is built on, is our defense, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
we get 22. Calafiori adds more defense. Merino added some more defense.
Timber
is healthy, and if we get you don't need, and it's not even like the first part of the season. If he's healthy by the second half of the season, 1-0 to the Arsenal might be a thing because that's what we might need to do. That if we're gonna think about this, we need to compete on 4 fronts. We don't have to blow teams out. We just have to win every game we play, right?
Yeah.
So we might just have to do that.
22 clean sheets. That means we might have the record of conceding the least amount of goals for the Premier League. I think it was 15 by Chelsea. All right, Stan, what have you got?
Am I allowed to? I was going to say 22. Am I allowed to pick the same, or do I have to pick a different number?
You could pick the same, and then
ask Gary.
You get equal amount of points.
I'm not making any rules here. I just want numbers.
Or I'll go 21 or 23. I'm in that neighborhood, right?
You got to pick one.
So you want to get closer to Tony or further away from Tony?
Probably further away.
Further away.
What Tony picked?
I picked 22. He picked 17.
17.
Or sorry, basically 18, which is 17.
No, don't blur the lines, Gary, because
I'm gonna go.
I'll tell you through the season he picked 18.
I'm gonna go 22. We can pick the same.
22. Okay.
There we go.
Definitely going to improve.
All right.
I like to think.
Here's the next one. This is going to be a little bit tricky. Based on goals and assists combined, so goal involvements, I'm going to pit Kai Havertz up against Martin Odegaard.
What do you mean?
So Martin Odegaard might have more assists and less goals, and Kai Havertz might have more goals and less assists. But combine the two together, who's going to have the most goals and assists in a Premier League season? Havertz or Odegaard?
I've got to choose one of those. Okay.
You have to choose one of those.
Who's going first?
And you're going to pick the player, and you're going to pick what you think they might end up with. Who do you want to go first, Gary? Tony?
Yeah, Tony goes first, so we can also.
So let me see if I understand it. Out of those two players, I've got to pick who would have more goal involvements.
Goal
Yeah,
involvement. So it's goals
Okay.
and assists combined. Odegaard might provide a lot of assists for people, and he might score a few, but we would expect Havertz to be one of the top 3 scorers maybe this season.
I'm gonna pray we get a striker in there and Odegaard gets it. So Odegaard.
Abdi says Havertz because of his attacking nature. Yeah, he's going to score goals. Will he give you a couple, 2 or 3 assists as well to boost that up? Will it be more than what Odegaard can do? Odegaard's going to get a lot of minutes probably.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
For
More,
me, I think
more appearances, more minutes.
Yeah.
More
Odegaard, Ray, come on.
Odegaard.
See what
I think it's
Gary
gonna
has
be-
All
to
right,
pick
so
out.
you want
No,
me
I
to
think-
go first?
I think it's Odegaard is going to do it. He's, you know what? The more and more we get the help that helps our midfield, the less and less he has to do defensively. The more that hopefully that means he'll be going forward and actually creating more and actually maybe taking some more damn shots. He should easily get over double digits in goals and definitely in assists. I mean, Saka should not be leading us in assists. I'm sorry.
Really?
You know what I mean? So for me, I think he should get close. Okay. He should be getting close to the 30 goal contributions is what I think.
That's a good question from Michael. I didn't even look that up last season, but I feel like
he had 9 goals last year.
You're saying like 15 goals and 15 assists. Is that what you're saying, Gary?
He's gonna get close
That's
to
like
that.
Maradona numbers.
That's a lot.
He got 15 2 years ago. Yeah.
Involvements.
If you can return.
He got 15 2 years ago, and we want him, and he should be doing better this year, right?
And what actually Havertz may have been
2 years ago, Gary, that was a pass. Who cares?
Yeah.
Hey, you like to live in the past, dude.
I mean, I'm thinking that he did have that phenomenal season, but you're looking at 38 games, and 15 goals.
Because of Havertz, Odegaard was curtailed last season probably in his goal and assist output because of Havertz playing in midfield.
Do you know what movie Gary would star in, Ray?
Tony will do the crossover between Back to the Future, Jumper, and
your time cop. Your time cop.
You try to catch Tony. You just jump to another time period. He just
most of the people in the Abdi says Havertz, BX says Odegaard.
Yeah. Havertz had 20 goal contributions last year, and Odegaard had 18.
Okay.
How do you think I won this competition 3 years running?
You didn't win it last year. Nobody knows. I looked at the books. Your name's nowhere on it.
I retired.
Your name's not cheated.
That's why you dropped out of it last year. Let's have it right. You got Rumble, Tony.
All right, Lawrence. Lawrence, I'm going to get you to start us off here, Lawrence. So, Odegaard or Havertz?
Didn't we already do? Wait, how many people have we? What?
We've all
starting now. Everybody answered this except for Lawrence and probably Stan.
I'm just sitting on the fence.
I didn't get any answers yet, Gary.
What do you think I did? What did I tell you?
We're just talking it out. We're talking it out.
We never talk anything. I give you the answer.
Gary, what's your answer? Odegaard?
Odegaard, he's going to get like 29 goal contributions.
29, okay. Lawrence?
I've forgotten the question.
This is old guy. You got to put like the paper up with the question.
We're going to put
Joe Biden.
We're going to put Havertz up against Odegaard. Who gets the most goals and assists combined in the Premier League?
It's so obvious, Odegaard.
Obvious.
Havertz got more than him last season.
Yeah.
Odegaard was something to do watch the defense last
We just said, right, Odegaard will probably get more minutes, but I'm just looking at the stats, and Kai Havertz featured in 37 matches in the league.
Yeah.
Martin Odegaard, he featured in 35.
Yeah. 37 and 35, so they played a lot.
So Havertz was in more games. I mean, obviously, maybe minutes-wise, some of those could have been off the bench. But even if that's the case, you have to say that Havertz's numbers is pretty impressive for last season. To be
I'm
fair,
going to go with Havertz. Just
13 goals, 7 assists, and at Chelsea he was like a man on an island doing nothing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at the
Imagine
beginning
what
of,
he
and if
would
you
have.
remember as well, the beginning of the season, it weren't plain sailing for Kai Havertz. We were all going like, "Oh my god, have we got a dad here or
Yeah.
what?"
It was
Haven't we?
dodgy.
Have we done our dough on this guy? We've done like 65
Imagine what
million
it
on this
would
guy.
be like if he spent the whole season as striker instead of
Martin Odegaard, 8
Indeed.
goals, 10 assists.
staying in the midfield.
Yeah, definitely, Tony.
Yeah, I'm going with Havertz.
You're going Havertz then,
Yeah.
and what is the tally of his combined goals and assists?
Well,
I'm going 21 with Havertz.
that's only one more goal involvement than last season.
Yeah,
I think he's going to improve on that. I think he's going to be better this season. So I think it will be more. Okay. So I give you another.
2 more.
Well,
One
you
more.
went. You're
How many more?
dangerous. You're crazy. You're crazy. You just went crazy.
Oh, look how
I'm gonna
good.
go crazy. More.
Ray just started out as who gets
EX
more.
at 26.
What was it again last season? It
What
was
was it? 20 or something? 13 and 7.
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
20. So yeah, I'm going to say 20 goal involvements last season. I'm going to say that he's going to get like 28.
Whoa. Okay.
I think his assists will come up.
Lawrence. Yeah, definitely. Lawrence. Odegaard. You picked Odegaard, but put a number on his goals and assists combined.
24.
24. Okay.
You've got to think about it. If he doesn't have that dry patch at the beginning of the season like he did last season,
Tony.
you know what I'm saying? He's going to fly.
Yeah.
Odegaard, 27.
See that? That's what I like. A man who knows his numbers and what he's not afraid to share them. Okay.
The only problem is Saka is gonna have 31. So there you go.
All right. That leads.
He's gonna hit that 20
We're
goal
talking
mark.
about a man, Ray, that uses a calculator to write the word boobs backwards. And he's really chuffed about it as well. So, yeah.
I love doing that in grade school.
See? Anyway, moving on.
That is
I actually moved up on it though, Stan. I did boobies, which you can do on a
Boobies.
calculator.
That's right. Boobies.
Carl Vorderman would give you maximum points for that.
Do you think that we're going to see Kai Havertz playing as left 8 and
hope
Jesus
not.
playing through the middle? Do you think it's going to happen?
Well, you know
I
what?
think
Maybe
we will
against
see.
the
We'll see it.
the
Because
lower part of the table,
We'll
maybe
see it.
hopefully, but not in the big games, right? In the most
will.
important games,
But-
right?
He'll probably play forward and play like a second striker role. Do you think we could see that?
We will see it.
In formation.
Lawrence,
Yeah.
give me the second highest goal scorer this season for Arsenal.
Second highest goal scorer.
Just goals, yeah.
God. You'd have to
No,
ask me this
he
one
doesn't
first.
play.
Mate, every time. Negotiations.
Arsene Wenger. Arsene
second
Wenger
highest
will
goal
tell you.
scorer.
Yeah.
Robbie Fowler.
Arsene Wenger had him at
Robbie
the-
Fowler's retired, mate.
Arsene Wenger had him at the training ground in 2007.
But he two-footed him, and so that was it of that.
Martinelli.
Really?
Okay, Martinelli.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good
Yeah.
shout. It's a good shout.
Can I just say, it's funny Lawrence mentions Martinelli because some of the pre-season, you read the match reports from certain, whatever, London 360, whatever, but they're saying, from what I can gather, that people are a little bit concerned about Martinelli. Started the game really brightly and kind of faded. And one of the sentences, I'm sort of paraphrasing, the question they were saying, is he a player that's, rather than is going to keep progressing, may have plateaued?
Right. I've changed my mind. Sorry. I'm going to say Trossard.
The train is left. Train is left. Lawrence,
You're going to take Trossard now because Andy.
Just because you're on the platform, the train is gone. The train left. The door's closed. You cannot get in.
What, you're picking Trossard? Okay, and that'll be interesting. Yeah. That competition on left wing will be interesting.
The train might be. The train is reversing back. You got anything else, just in case? You got anything?
Tiger and Gooder has picked Saka. Maybe he'll have not the greatest season. Who knows? But he should. I think by the question, we're all thinking that Saka will get 20 plus goals this coming season. I think Martinelli is not elite, and that's the thing that Martinelli has to fight this season. Be that player who can break out again. And if we repair that left with Calafiori and Merino and Declan Rice in there, Martinelli could have. As BX said, I disagree. I see Martinelli adding technical skill to his game and owning that left side. Gary, what's your second highest goal scorer?
Yeah, this is why I wanted Lawrence to just not get on that train. I had Trossard as my second leading scorer. He's going to start games and score. He's going to come off the bench and score. As you know, if Erdegaard is having a good year, he's going to be on the end of some of those assists. And then hopefully he'll get he'll get to play with Erdegaard. I think Trossard will be the one. He'll be surprise one. He's gotten 11 goals with us the first time, and that was like half this season, right?
Yeah.
And then last season he decided to go with the double digits in assists.
Got 12,
I believe. And then now this year and then last year he had double digits assists, I thought.
That's right. That's it. He had 10, then 1, then 12, then 1.
Yeah. So this year I think he's going to do. He's going to get closer to that 20 mark. But I probably see 15 or 16 goals from him.
Maybe this is assist season. He goes in he alternates. Now he's going to.
Maybe it's his turn to be the assist
season. Yeah. Season after that, he'll score
15 or 16 assists and 1 goal for Leandro. But very happy that he's part of our club. I mean, we were talking about him before he came, and now he's an Arsenal player. And hopefully he and Martinelli can have very, very good seasons.
I want Jota-esque from him. Jota-esque skills coming off the bench from him.
I want him to kill Liverpool.
We're gonna want to seal some games, and then we're gonna want him. And then he's gonna start and hopefully finish off games before half. So we'll hopefully he'll do it all for us.
All right, Tony, who's your second highest goal scorer this season?
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. I agree with you, Kai Havertz as well. I'm going with Kai also. And Stan?
Well, I think Saka's going to continue to be our highest scorer. He's going to be like our Salah.
Yeah.
He doesn't play through the middle. He's going to continue to be the high scorer from the right-hand side. So I agree with you and Tony. I think Kai Havertz is going to get more minutes probably than Jesus and have more opportunities, and therefore he'd probably be our second highest scorer if he continues in that same vein. And on the proviso that we don't buy someone in the next 2 weeks, right? It's current squad now.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. Tony, what will be the most goals that Arsenal score in any one league game? I think we hit 6. We hit 6 numerous times.
Yeah, that was the number I was thinking, funny enough.
Last season.
6, right?
So you're going 6. Okay.
That was the number that I came up with as well.
I'm gonna push it to 7. I'm gonna go 7 myself.
Fuck that, all right. I'll see you 7 and call with 8. No, just feeling a bit fasty.
Uh,
Gary comes in with 9.
I know, it's like,
You have 6 then, Stan, right? 6?
Yeah, I think 6 is very achievable.
All right. Lawrence, higher or lower? That is 6.
Full cycle again. High.
I've got many options, haven't I? Everyone's going high. All right, I'll go 9. I'll go 9.
Wow.
Wow.
The best thing about scoring 9 in a football match is that when they bring the score up on the BBC One, they actually put 9 and then in brackets they write it out NINE as if to say like, yeah, you did see it right. Fucking 9. I love that.
Yeah.
I've seen it once. I think it was Blackburn or someone scored 9.
I think that is
spelled it out.
I think that's the Premier League record is 9. 9
Blackburn or Newcastle, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it happened. All right, Gary, we have anywhere between 6 and 9, Gary.
So I'm going 7. 7, my favorite number.
Lucky number 7.
So
3.
Yeah, 7 it is. Yeah.
And hopefully we have numerous days like that where we can hit 6s and 7s against the worst teams in the league.
Ipswich. Then again, they're looking tidy. Shouldn't say that, really.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Liverpool 1-1.
We'll have a quick run through.
We'll play pre-season, right? Against Liverpool 1-1.
Yeah. Tony is anxious to announce his WGAF games. So we'll do that real quickly before we leave tonight as well. But the 6th question, Stan, I'll go to you, Stan. Goals conceded by Arsenal next season.
What was it last season?
28, 29, something like that.
That we let in?
Yes.
Well, I think it's going to be less than that. I think that it will probably be 23.
I'm going to go 25.
So the opponent scored 26 goals on us last year.
Yeah. I'm going to go 25. You think we'll be harder to beat, Gary? We'll concede less goals in the teens.
I'm going to go 22.
22.
That number again.
Tony, higher or lower than 22?
Higher, come on, my love.
Oh,
So that's an English thing.
did 26 2 years in a row. I'm going to give us 24.
It's going
21.
high. It's going high.
Lawrence, how many goals will we concede this season?
31.
31. Okay, you're in the 30s.
Wow, we're going to get worse.
Lawrence sees us buying defenders and is like, yeah, we're going to do worse. It's like, they're shit. Come on.
Okay.
Well, hopefully we score 100 goals then, because that's the only way I'm going to let that many goals in and feel
I actually think that should be one of his measures, because he's spent so much time tightening our defence. And I know there are a lot of managers that have that philosophy that, if you want to win the league, you have to have a good defence. And that's where he's gone. So if we do worse, the goals that we let in, then there should be questions asked, right? Mm-hmm. You spent money. You spent hard-earned money there. You didn't spend it in the attack or whatever. And as a caveat, if the geezer that was saying that I like failure, Arsenal, AFC, I said it on the last show. I honestly believe that if we go into this season with the same 3 forward options, as in Nketiah, Jesus, and Havertz, and we don't change that around in some way, I don't think that gets us over the line, because it didn't the last 2 seasons. So why should it do it this season? I'm worried about that.
Yeah. All right, we're going to come. There's only 7 questions in this first part of the predictions podcast. And Tony, you're going to need to keep that calculator that you've been typing 5318008 into.
Then turn it upside down. It doesn't read right unless you turn it upside down. And, oh, boobies. Sorry.
So this is a good one, Tony. We'll go to
Yeah.
Tony first, right? Because we want to go after Tony, right? So this is Brazil versus England. Okay, you're going to combine the goals scored from the three Gabriels, who will be in the team, hopefully consistently. Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, and Gabriel Magalhaes.
Are we sure we want Jesus in there consistently?
He's Brazilian. If you can get Rafinha in, we might switch him out for Rafinha. But combine the goals from Gabriel Magalhaes, Martinelli, and Jesus, and combine the goals from the England contingents on the right side.
No.
Ben White, Declan Rice, and Bukayo Saka. So get your pens out,
What?
or just do it in your head.
That's not happening.
Either one,
That's not happening.
or just go higher than lower.
I
I
just did it. So, I got with a score of 31-23, the English won it.
Whoa.
Saka's going to get the haul, right?
Most of them, yes.
Saka's going to get the big haul. You know, we know that Magalhaes is going to get some goals. He always does. We know that Saliba's going to get a couple.
Not Saliba.
No,
He's
not
He's
Saliba.
not Brazilian.
Brazil.
Oh, sorry.
The Gabbies, just the Gabbies. Pick
The
one. of the-
Gabby
Yeah,
three.
Martinelli, you know, he may not even be a regular starter if there's a plateau in his form. He may not be on the pitch as often.
Yep.
Don't know that, right?
Yeah.
Jesus, very streaky, isn't he? We had that conversation. When does he hardly get a brace or he follows a game up? He scores in one goal game, he follows it up in the next game, scores two. He's not that kind of player. So I'm with Gary. I think the English contingent, just because of the goal haul by Saka, they win it. I have to give you a number now.
Saka might win it all by himself.
Exactly. The other two could just sit down and read the newspaper.
Ben White might
Smoking a
get
cigarette.
one.
Go on,
right?
Saka. Nice one. Reading.
Ben White might get one, Gary.
No.
Yeah, Ben White's going to get maybe.
Ben
yeah,
White.
Ben White.
Is it Ben White? Well, Ben White had a good score last year, right? So
Declan Rice got 7 last season.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know
you remember that against Sheffield United, the left.
Yeah.
Was
and
that
Gabby
left one?
might get his shooting boots on like he did at the end of the season,
And Declan
right?
got
So-
7 last season. Declan got 7, which is quite good, yeah. And I think he could probably get there or thereabouts again. Probably maybe improve if he's playing in that left 8 a little bit more. So yeah,
All right,
I'll go with Gary, the English. Do I have to give you a number though? Really? Can't I just say England?
No, you can just say England. Yeah,
Okay, England.
yeah. Gary's going with England. Stan's going with England. Lawrence, what do you think? The three Gabbies combined versus Ben White, Rice, and Saka for goals. only.
England contingent win 41-31.
Numbers, isn't it?
Wow.
For a man that sits on the fence, man, that's pretty precise.
That
You
guy,
got a scoring.
that guy broke
No.
down the fence, ran back, and smashed on it again.
He's
It's
going
like,
balls
not
out.
even-
He
That's
tore that
very
fence
even-
down. People are like that when they do a tour now, and this is where the fence used to be.
Keep in mind, he's got us conceding over 30 goals, so he wants us to score over 100.
We're gonna score 100 goals and probably and have like a 70 goal difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
plus
definitely.
70 goal difference.
I'm up. I'm the Yuri Geller of predictions. So.
Show us your forks.
Put your spoons away, US.
Big
Your
Scott.
missus like,
Big Scott
you
thinks
can't
Brazil
another
will do
fork.
it. Oh, if Brazil does it, we're gonna have a good year because that means Jesus is gonna actually put shots on target.
yeah,
This is a big
indeed.
year to go to.
And Martinelli.
Big year
Just
for Jesus.
just to be a little bit different, I'm going to go with Brazil as well. And that leaves Tony with the last word. And you have to cancel the 5318008, okay? And start fresh.
It's be Saka's outscored Brazil.
Okay. So you're going with England.
I'm going with Saka.
The star boy. See, Lawrence, predicting is not so bad after all.
Is it?
Just doing it to amuse you, right?
He's gonna be going. He's gonna be
And
going
the
to
news
church.
is
He's
idiot.
gonna go to church and talk to his pastor. I'm sorry. for that info.
Right,
Can I
Gary.
retire?
I've talked about the future.
Gary,
Yes,
Take
sir.
the confessional box.
Gary,
Yes, sir.
newsflash, I'm Jewish. I don't have a pastor.
He just eats pasta.
He's okay. He's calling it the rabbi. Sorry. Yes.
All
He's
right.
a-
Well,
Right.
He eats a calzone.
If I win again, can I retire again?
yeah. You can, what's your number? We'll retire your number.
I don't know. I'll be 33.
No. What's your shirt number?
That's what I said. 33.
33.
Yeah, I'll be one of
Calafiori.
those weird.
Okay.
I'll be one of those weird. No,
I thought you'd be number 2. Come on.
Come on.
Be number 2.
That's not nice, right?
Embrace the
I
number
thought
2.
Tony's number 1.
Numero uno.
Okay, we'll go with one.
Tony's not a
for
number.
Gabby's
He's a free
numbers.
man.
We'll go with the. We'll go with my man's number.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Saliba. Go with Saliba. Number
Nope,
2.
I'm going with. Nope.
Tony, did you see
Mega
Ainsley
legs.
Maitland-Niles playing against us the other day? Did that bring back
Meh.
some memories for you?
Mega legs.
Him playing on the upper side of the right-hand side of their attack.
I was disappointed we didn't get to see him kick a penalty kick.
I didn't see that.
It didn't happen. We didn't kick any penalty kicks, but
Who was that?
Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Ah.
He's
And
playing
Leon.
the other day.
So
Anyone.
you're a Lyon supporter in France. You're a Cardiff supporter in the championship. Right,
Right,
Tony?
so where are we going now then? What's the next one?
Callum
So,
Chambers.
a Razor Liverpool fan.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do whatever we want next.
oh, are we done? Are we done?
Not really. You want to talk about the games at the weekend? Or do you want to throw in?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got
Alright.
a game coming up in a couple of days, right? That's our first game of the season. Is it a home or away to Wolves?
It's a home game.
Home.
Home game to Wolves. So, what's the starting 11? What's the starting 11? I mean, when I asked that question, for me, I mean, I look at it itself.
Raya,
Is he going to start?
Raya,
Okay. I was gonna
Raya
say-
in goal.
Yeah.
Right back, Ben White. In the middle, Saliba and
Miguel.
Gabriel. And left back, Timber, if he's fit.
Timber's injured.
Sinchenko.
He's still
He's not
injured.
fit, is he?
Okay.
He just got back to
Zinchenko,
practice
then.
this week, so I don't know if he's at that level where when he's
Sinchenko.
practicing, he's playing yet.
Zinchenko, in front of them, Declan Rice and Partey. Odegaard ahead of them, and up front, Saka, Jesus, and Havertz.
Havertz?
Jesus and Havertz. How could they?
What's going on there then?
No
He's
Martinelli.
playing on the left.
be?
Explain yourself.
It's a fault.
Sorry,
wing.
Saka, Havertz, and Martinelli
No, Jesus.
or Trossard.
Oh, come on, what is it?
Your team sheet will have X's all over it.
Do I know?
It's like one of them. It's like one of them Todd Bowley.
Lawrence, do I need to go get my crayons for you?
So
Right,
Jesus, so you think he's going to put Jesus on the bench for the opening game?
Yeah, I put Jesus on the bench.
Really?
Havertz starts up front.
You think so?
Yeah. Saka, Havertz, and Martinelli. Trossard and Jesus on the bench.
But he could start Jesus, though, innit? He could. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I would be really difficult to put money on it. I think it could go either way. What's he seen in pre-season that he's liked?
Havertz has had a better preseason, in my opinion, than Jesus, right?
You think that Havertz is now a start ahead of Jesus in pecking
Ahead.
order?
Yep.
Mm. And what about on the left-hand side? Is it still Martinelli or is it Trossard?
I think he always continues to go back to Martinelli. I think he continues to go back to Martinelli, and Trossard is saying to himself, "What do I have to do to convince you again to start?" You know what I mean?
It's really been what he did last season.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting.
How do you think? Have you watched the pre-season games? I haven't seen all of them myself, but
I've just seen it.
What before Martinelli? Has Martinelli looked sharp to you? Does it look good?
Yeah, I think he's looked bright and sharp, but he still falls into the same trap of not being able to find that killer pass.
End product.
Yeah.
Running into cul-de-sacs.
Do we still see that, right, Gary?
Yep.
With Martinelli?
Yeah, you know what? The one thing he has, which Trossard doesn't, is he's got pace.
Pace.
So the trick is like the trick is when he makes that run, he needs to look for Havertz needs to be there. And we also saw in the preseason, right? We saw a crossover to Saka as well, I believe, from that side of the pitch. So, he should know that Saka should be up there. So the trick is just, when you see that pass go, you got to get to the box because he's coming. So, yeah, I got Martinelli up top with Havertz and Saka.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that will put a lot of pressure on that because you got security on the right, and you got a little danger on the left, and you got Havertz in the middle who will just anything that gets in there, he'll clean it and jump on it quickly, or
Yeah.
I think that's going to be kind of cool. And then you got Havertz and Havertz, not Havertz, but Erdogan and Rice and
Partey.
in the midfield. Yeah, if Partey's healthy, he starts for us. And then on the back line, like I said, Zinchenko is just because we don't have any of our players, I think, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I think, they're going to attack his side. We know this. So Gabriel's
Zinchenko.
is it Gabriel has to not Gabriel, but Saliba has to be on it, right?
Yeah.
Because you think like I saw a video and it said the reason why Martinelli wasn't doing much on the left hand side is because he had to play left back, and they actually showed a clip where I think it was against Wolves, nonetheless, where Zinchenko basically got turned, and then Martinelli had to chase down the attacker and basically stalled him. So I think that's going to slow us down until we get that left side sorted.
I think you're wrong. I think that it will be Thomas Partey, Odegaard, Havertz, and I think Jesus will be in the team as well. I don't know what the formation will be.
You're sitting Rice? You're not sitting Rice.
No, Rice is in there as well. Rice. What I'm saying is that Havertz and Jesus are going to be in the same team. I'm not saying that Havertz will be in that left 8. Do you know what I'm getting at? But they will be in the same team. The formation, maybe on paper, it looks like that. But similar to what BX is saying, he's going to be playing like a second sort of a striker.
Yeah, but on Saturday?
Yeah, at home.
Okay.
I think they're going to both be in the side. So I don't know how it's going to look one way on paper, but on the pitch, it's going to look a different way. The way that they show you on your telephone.
Once again, the question is, what part of Arteta's genre repertoire will actually put that to work on the pitch? You've not seen anything like that. And felt like he's done anything kind of like that.
Going back to the 4-4-1-1.
We go into 4-4-2 and 4-4-1 quite often in the game.
Not with a Havertz and Jesus.
Especially off the ball. And I think that we're going to see a little bit of that moving forward in the forward play. I do. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just think that there's going to be a way that Mikel Arteta is going to try to have Havertz and Jesus in the same team.
There will be a
In the same
tactical. There will be a tactical innovation from either Mikel Arteta or Pep Guardiola.
And on paper, it will look like a left 8, but when you see it played, it won't be. You know what I mean? It'll be a bit different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope you're right because I hope Arteta decides to do something on his own, or do something first and not like wait for his mentor to make a change and then follow suit. Right? I agreed with you when you wanted the two strikers up top stand, but Arteta doesn't seem to be on that same train of thought.
Right.
So,
Michael said, "Could we have 3 centre backs with Calafiori playing?" You're playing up to Tony right now, Michael.
Yeah, playing right into his hands.
You're playing right into Tony's hands, right there. They take the bait, Tony. It's dangling.
Well, we did it once last year.
the one thing I don't know, the little bit that we saw from Calafiori, I liked it. I mean, he did look like he was trying to do too much, but like the way he took the ball off the attacker on the left side at one time is like yes, and we saw that from Skelly as well. So I like that. Yeah.
And when we talk about Havertz and Jesus operating as double striker, it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be playing directly like this. There'll be times when you'll see Jesus being the one that's in the midfield, winning the ball back, and Havertz is running forward, and then Jesus will turn on the ball and blast it forward into Havertz's path. There'll be other times when it'll be the other way around. It'll be Havertz that will have come back deep and will try to help in the midfield, and hopefully Gabriel's getting into the. You know what I'm getting at? It's going to be like an alternate. It's not necessarily playing, two strikers in the box like in the old days. It's going to be very flowing, but they'll both be playing and getting into those positions as strikers.
I think you'll see it as a 3-5-2 too, Stan.
Who knows, Tyler?
3-5-2. Havertz and Jesus will be operating as double strikers on the pitch. I don't think personally you'll see them starting but that way, but in games you will see that at some point in the season where Havertz is joining Jesus up front.
There's times where you can stop the play in some games, and if you stopped it and you landed in a spaceship and said, right, who's playing in which position? You look at it and go, well, that guy there is the striker, and you'd be like, what, Tomiyasu? Yeah. Really? Because it's the flowing, and other players have come back, and other players find themselves in that position where if you freeze it, you're like, so the striker is the guy that's in from the defense, okay?
Yeah.
But that's where the player's taken it.
And like you said at the start of the podcast, the last 2-3 seasons under Mikel Arteta, the football has been outstanding, free-flowing football. The players know where each other are going to be on the field. And listen, it wouldn't be a podcast without me referencing Liverpool, right? So here we go again. A few years ago, when we lost up there at Anfield 4-1, Aubameyang took that bait, as Gary knows. Aubameyang made that foul. Liverpool responded to the touchline fighting between Jurgen Klopp and Arteta. And that Liverpool team every part worked as one unit, one body, and that's where Arsenal are now. We all work as one unit, one body. And so this is where there are levels to this, as Gary says also. And Arsenal are on the same level as Man City right now. And there's literally nothing between the two teams going into the new season. So with that being said, I think we're not ever going to have a situation where we're breaking down defensively. Mikel Arteta will not let that happen. And yes, if Zinchenko's out of position and losing the ball, Martinelli is getting back and recovering that situation. It hurts his stats up front, but this is what Mikel Arteta demands of the team, to work hard, because that's the only thing for success is working hard. and winning games. And I want to look at a season where we're going to
You don't want to end up getting your pocket picked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, be aware. And that ties into what I'm going to say next. I want to look at a season where we can win 30 games. So, Tony, 30 games is the marker. 30 wins from 30 games. I'll get you 90 points right away, right off the bat. And our record is 28, which this team got last season. And we had the best defensive record in the Premier League. Is that correct? Ours for Arsenal, and we had the most goals scored. Brownie said, I think this Calafiori has been signed as a left back because he was playing often in that position previously.
John Stones playing a few positions. That's what Teta likes, right?
He's 50%. Yeah. He's pretty much 50% left back and left center back. So yeah, we're fine there. I mean, I heard a hot take that by the end of the season, Calafiori will be our left center back.
Wow. Yeah, but that's like somebody wants Gabriel sold, right? Is that what they're saying, Gary?
Just thinking that, if we're going to sell one of our center backs, we'd rather sell Gabriel, right?
Nope. I want to sell either of them.
Yeah, well,
I said if. I didn't say I don't want that. I don't want that.
Such a partnerships are hard to find, right? I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and we have such a difficult start to the season.
Pay the money.
First 5 or 6 games of the season, we have to go away to Aston Villa, away to Tottenham, away to Man City. And as Diak said, we're not the inferior team going to Anfield these days, but that Anfield trip will be the third last game of the season in the run-in. Our run-in is pretty
new manager. New manager rebuilding.
Liverpool, yeah, and they may not be in the running 3 games from the end of the season as well.
The only reason people say Gabriel is because there's Zinchenko. The guy's left on the island. We haven't had a solid left back there, so that's why.
Right, and Van Dijk has gotten exposed in the same way as well. People talk about Van Dijk being that Rolls Royce of a defender. If you're
the only way you sell one of our central back defending pairing of Mega Legs and Saliba, the only way is if they turn around and say, I want to leave. Other than that, you continue to increase their contracts and keep them happy. If they don't want to play for the club, then okay, fair enough. But other than that, no. There's no need. There's no guarantee that the person you replace them with will form a partnership. We can see what's going on here. This should be a partnership that should go on for the ages, a little bit in the same way as Adams and Bold, strike Adams Keown.
Yeah. Brownie said you can't break a centre-back partnership who conceded the least amount of goals last season. Hence why I think this Italian is going to be the left-back.
I didn't say it was me. I just said I heard a hot take. So
I think you will, because we see it again, right? Centre-backs playing at full-back. This is the way it's going. This seems to be a trend, right? And Calafiori seems to be one of those. Ben White, there's another example. Centre-back now playing at full-back. This, I think, at some point, Calafiori, he will be used at left-back, and he'll be coming into the midfield like we saw in the Euros.
We were lucky with injuries when it came to our centre-backs last season. We were very lucky with injuries. Gabriel and Saliba played the majority of the games. We're going to have a situation where we have to give them some rest in the league. And
they need it. Only if they need it.
100% and 89%.
100% and 89%.
You only rest top players if they need it. They don't need it. They keep playing. If they're able to play and give you the same performance, you don't rest them for the sake of it.
Don't you risk injury though, Stan, if you do that?
I'm just saying, if you don't need it, that's how you're monitoring. Right. That's what I'm trying to say, right? As long as some players can go and go and go. I don't like the idea of just because he's played X amount of games, let's take a good player out to give someone else some minutes. That's where you could lose points. If he needs to be taken out, like you say, as Arsene Wenger used to say, he's in the red, meaning they're monitoring. Then yeah, but if they don't need it and they're class, they keep going.
Yeah.
If you've got a Maldini and he can keep going and he's great, why would you take him out for this? Just to take him out, just to give someone else some minutes? No.
We need to see what the second choice central defensive partnership will be for cup games, FA Cup games, Carabao Cup games.
When we were successful, do you remember it was Adams, Keown, stroke Bold, and we could have that. It could be, Gabriel, Calafiori, Saliba. That could be the triumvirate sharing.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a good point. It could be the way to go as well. Indeed. Anything else, Gary, Stan, Tony, Lawrence? We'll go through the bank of games that's coming up this weekend. Are we excited?
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say something. Yeah. So I guess it was yesterday. I guess they put Kevin Carter to rest. So one of the Arsenal greats finally.
Campbell.
Kevin Campbell. What did I say? Carter, didn't I?
Carter, yeah.
Kevin Campbell. Sorry. Sorry about that. But yeah. So, and I know they're gonna have like a little remembrance of him during the game on the weekend. So
And I saw something I saw something this morning on the overlap. Ian Wright talking about he's had a tough summer as well.
Who? Ian Wright has?
Yeah, he lost his brother as well.
Oh.
As losing Kevin Campbell was hard on him. You know what I mean? So, yeah, when you think about Kevin Campbell passing away, it was just horrible and so unexpected.
It seemed like it happened quick, but it seemed like it was a long, there was a long time between like when you saw him disappear from the screen till this morning.
3 or 4 weeks at least.
So
right. So we definitely the Arsenal.
I know what it is about Kevin Campbell is that like sometimes they say say one word to someone up, and I'm not saying that I profess to know him only from the football. I have spoken to him on a podcast once, but from what I can see on the from the way people talk about him, if I was to say one word, it would be accessible.
Yeah.
He seemed to be that sort of person that, if you bumped into him or he was sat in the came by, and he's accessible.
And humility.
It's very easy to talk to, and he's not kept at a distance. He's happy to be within the throngs of it. He's accessible.
Yeah, I mean, think about all of the you think about all the stars of many teams, how many of them are sitting on podcasts talking and still doing, they're doing he's doing his job for big, the big TV channels and stuff like that as well. Not too many are doing. There's not. I don't think there's any that really do that on a consistent basis. I mean, he's on the Highbury squad with Sophie, and not too many of those stars do. They may come on once a month or something like that, but not every day like he was doing. So I think he, like you said, accessible, and he would jump on. Lots of many channels, right?
He enjoyed it.
I mean, there's probably one. You watch a group of people, or a lot of people in the YouTube game. Probably at least one of them has been on a show with him. So it's it's crazy how how he was. He shared what he had. With everybody. Not just those who paid the bills. Sometimes
he was gracious. He was humble. Yeah, Lawrence.
He was a fan himself. He was a fan. He loved the club.
Yeah.
I don't know. People say, "Oh, he played for Everton as well. He was a fan of theirs as well." But he absolutely adored Arsenal. And I know a few people back home who used to hang out with him, and he said he was down to earth. He wasn't one of these players who had an ego. They thought they were above. He was he was down to earth. He would have a pint with them in the pub before a game or after a game. And it's just a huge loss for everyone associated with the club.
Yeah. Yeah. And as Rose said, Kevin Campbell was quite humble. He was just like one of the guys on the corner of the street that you'd bump into. You'd have a conversation. I think you can't say anything higher or better than or give a person a tribute as saying he was a fan. He was just like one of us. He had no airs and graces. He had time for a lot of people. The time that he had, he gave it to people. He put forward his viewpoint on numerous podcasts from his perspective as a player. And he actually bridged the gap between the players and the fans as well in a unique way.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember his phrase many times. It's the players, right? He never, he always put it on the players.
He wouldn't single anyone out,
like
right?
we would say, a lot of fans would go, "Oh, Arteta's put him in that position." He's like, "Well, when he puts you on the pitch, then you're supposed to perform. And it's on the players." And I mean, for me, I always I'm like it's 50-50 for me, because it's not all on the players, it's not all on the coach either, but it's a combination of for me. But he was always putting it on the players to go out there and do their jobs. It's you heard lots of different stories about him, and he's loved in Everton, right? So
Cardiff,
they're gonna have so he's gonna have a lot of memorials tomorrow.
Yeah,
the season kicks off. So yeah.
Cardiff City, Nottingham Forest, Everton, Arsenal, and I think you can say a lot of great things about Kevin Campbell. Welcome, Alonso. Say a lot of great things about Kevin Campbell, but sometimes you're an Arsenal player and the rival fans don't like you. Well, I don't think Kevin Campbell ever had that. He played football with a smile on his face, a little bit like you see old videos of them playing football in the 70s, George Best, and they were just enjoying the game, loving the game, and having fun with the referee. But Kevin Campbell wore his on his sleeve of his shirt. He wore a smile each and every time, and he enjoyed competing. He enjoyed playing football. He enjoyed being a professional footballer, a family man as well, and his one of his kids is in the professional game, I think, as well. So I don't know, Alonso, you want to add anything? We're just talking about Kevin Campbell again,
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really see him play because I became an Arsenal fan, I believe, during the 2008-9 season. So, but I've heard he's a good pundit. I heard that he's very fair. I heard that he was a gentleman within amongst the Gooners there. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's a very proper ex-Arsenal player. I think I heard nothing but good things about him. He talked very proper about the club after he left. Very, very, had a sense of humor, very funny, and very gentleman kind of guy, as they say. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad that he passed away, obviously, because you always think as a kid, your legends are not going to die, and unfortunately, that's it comes down to, right? So, unfortunately, he left this year. And it kind of sucks that I didn't get a chance to see him play. Unlike, like Jose Reyes, we saw him play. At least I did. I saw highlights of him. So, yeah, it's still very unfortunate and, very sad still.
Yeah, and Stan had the honor of being on a podcast with him all the time. So, we always do our own thing over here in Arsenal Fan Circle. But if one person I would have reached out to try to invite of note would have been Kevin Campbell. Would have loved to have had that opportunity to talk to him, and so kind of a message is not to tell your loved ones you love them. You don't know how long you've got. You know what I mean? Yeah, a little bit of a sad note there on that one as well. And Mahir, I have not heard from Mahir in a year or two, so I don't know what.
Yeah,
he's
I'm
doing.
here. If you're out there, who are you?
Yeah. Okay, so that's good. Good point there, Gary. Well made, like Kevin Campbell. Do we know the cause of death? Was liver disease or cancer?
Yeah, it was liver.
Yeah, I think it was liver disease. Something to do with his liver.
Yep. And it was sudden as well. I mean, at least for us in the public eye, one day he seemed healthy, and the next it came very quick, And we prayed for him. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. Rest in peace, Kevin Campbell, Arsenal legend, and many other clubs and their fans love you as well. And here we are, and I think Kevin Campbell would have been rubbing his hands at this season and this weekend coming up. He would have been able to see his beloved Arsenal maybe make that step.
So on that note, what is our predictions for the opening game of the season?
Wolverhampton Wanderers, we should take care of them very handily. I would say a 3-0 victory for Arsenal. Playing at home, we have got very difficult away games in the first 5. So this is one of the it almost seems like 3 points are right there. We just need to go and grab them on Saturday and get off to the best possible start, because the next one will be Aston Villa away from home, and that will be motivation should be very much there for the Arsenal players from last season to go and avenge what happened to us last season at the hands of Aston Villa.
Yeah, but at that Villa game, we're going to be facing a very different team because they've signed a lot of players. So it's going to be a completely different. It's all well and good looking at the videos last season, but he has got a new cast, so to speak.
So that might be a good thing, though, Stan, because he's trying to. Unai Emery will be trying to bed in 6 or 7 players into new positions.
Yeah, I thought it was more than that.
Huh?
I thought it was more than that.
Well, they've signed 7.
Didn't they sign Ross Barkley as well?
We'll have to check in with Lawrence. Did they
sign Ross Barkley?
Yeah.
Lawrence is our Aston Villa correspondent for AFCC.
What's feeling about Ross Barkley?
Yeah, Ross Barkley, Onana from Everton. Unlike us, they've been very busy in the transfer market. While we've been dragging our heels, trying to get 2 deals over the line. Yeah, Villa have been busy, and they've lined their ducks up.
Where did you put Villa in your final table again? Can you tell me?
4th.
I said 4th, they'll finish 4th again.
Lawrence, do you remember last week we had this conversation? Do you remember we said how many of those players that Aston Villa signed would you have in Arsenal? And do you remember what we said? We said 0. Remember? We said no.
Yeah, I would have Ross Barkley.
I like Ross Barkley.
I'd have Ross Barkley. Onana, who again was one of these players, was a done deal for Arsenal.
No.
It was a done deal for Arsenal. There were people on Facebook, don't deny it, putting his picture on top of an Arsenal shirt, saying he was on his way. He was off to Staples to get the pen to sign the deal. He was just going to show up at London Colney and put his name to paper, and he ended up where he's ended up.
I'm bringing the list back. Bringing that list back.
I forgot about the list.
Lawrence is on playback, man. He's on playback.
Yeah,
Lawrence, that was list worthy.
Lawrence is Tony 2.0 right now. You know what I mean? Those two have lights down there.
I don't have crayons, right? I'm talking
Onana is not the one. Seriously.
No, we wouldn't. we were lived with Onan, and he was one of these people that was a done deal.
It was one of those in the nose, Lawrence.
It was a done deal. You know,
Ross Barkley would have been nice cover for Odegaard.
People were superimposing his face onto an Arsenal shirt, saying that he was going to be a perfect partner to Odegaard, and he was on his way over.
Not for me. But I do think that Ross Barkley would be a good cover for Odegaard. I like Ross Barkley as a footballer there. He went off the rails a little bit, but I watched him play a few times last season. He looks good, man. I think that Ross Barkley could be making a comeback like George Foreman.
So, Grealish, the news is Grealish might be on a loan to Aston Villa, but
Really?
Oscar Bob has fractured his leg. I know he's one of the lesser known Man City players.
Oscar Bob was like a Sesame Street character.
Oscar Bob. They may not allow Grealish to go now. Has Grealish really fallen out of favor?
Sounds like a Sesame Street character. Oscar Bob.
What's going on at Man City though? Because they seem to be having a lot of players leave, but they don't have seems to be an influx of players coming in.
Wow.
Other than that, Savinho, there doesn't seem to be.
It's called the.
Alvarez is gone. Doesn't seem to be a replacement. Gundogan has gone.
I'll tell you what it is all about. It's about 115 charges. They don't want to be there. Do
you think it's winding down there? Do you think it's like everyone knows that it's time to?
They're
all driving away from the diner.
The Rats are leaving the ship. Yeah.
It could be because their manager is entering the last year of his contract.
Could be. Could be 115.
Do you think so? Because they don't. I mean, they got good money for Alvarez. They've not gone out and spent nothing. I don't know. It seems to be. They seem to be. If you look at them from last season, they look weaker, don't they?
Yeah.
Even Alvarez was still getting in the team when Haaland was playing, and he was still getting in the team. Do you remember? Because De Bruyne was out. He was playing deeper, slightly behind Haaland, but he was getting a lot of game time.
Played two up top. Yeah.
Yeah. You know they brought the case forward to next month.
Yes,
we're supposed to.
I thought it was going to be October. So is it going to be September?
No, they brought it forward. They're going to hear it next month.
Which is September.
What?
September next month.
Next month, yeah.
Yeah, September. Yeah, okay. They were supposed to hear it in October, but they've now decided to bring it forward.
Decisions in February, apparently. It's all supposed to come out in February.
Decisions coming out in February. Wow. So things are being fast-tracked a little bit. And I saw Ornstein talking about a lot of these 115 charges are repeating offenses. To me, that's even more damning, that all of these offenses have been repeating over the course of all of the years, which is not disclosing the accounts to the Premier League.
I'm going to go back and find out exactly what Rangers got charged with, because Rangers got booted all the way down. I need to refresh myself.
Yeah.
I need to refresh myself. If anyone can remind me, if anyone knows in the chat box quickly.
Financial irregularities.
You have to know how it compares.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed.
Been there for a couple of years.
They're scared of going to the city. So, yeah, I mean, we'll be talking about 115 charges, but and nobody's got any confidence about what's going to happen. That's the scary part.
I honestly believe that the prosecuting side, the FA, whatever, Premier League, they're looking for blood. Otherwise, they wouldn't be it wouldn't be this big. It would be like quietly under the. Do you know what I'm getting at? They want to make. I think they want to make an example. I think they're going to. And I think they're waiting, they're gathering, and they've been doing a thorough investigation. And I think they want blood. I don't think it's a handshake.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a handshake. Not at all. It would have been done by now. It'd been swept under the carpet, a measly fine. We'd all be bitching about it. No, they are trying to get an ironclad case, I believe. They want to show the UK government that they don't need regulation and that they can clean house.
Yeah. It is a bit intimidating though when you hear about the Man City lawyers. They're lawyered up and they're ready to, and they believe, Alonso, they believe that they've got a case and they can win the case.
FA, yeah, I mean,
Man City believe
what else are you going to
yeah,
say?
so
What else are you going to say publicly? We believe that we can't win. We're in the shit.
Yeah.
they supposedly got they kind of got the best, defense team in all of football, right? So they got the Saudi money covering them, right? So yeah, I mean, I think if they have their work done, they had their work cut out for them. But I think they have a good case. They have a good case against City because this stuff can't happen anymore. And you saw City get fined €2 million for time wasting or whatever it was, coming out late for games and halftime and all that stuff. So it's slowly happening. It's slowly happening to where they're going to get caught, right? It's a matter of the case against them will be legit or not. And from the looks of it, it seems like for real. So I think we all can't wait till that time comes to see what kind of punishment they get. Now, my question is, you guys, if they get a penalty like Rangers did all those years ago, though it's a different matter, or do they get points deducted, or do they just get their trophies handed away from them? What do you guys think is going to happen? I hope the worst. I hope they get a Rangers type of penalty for that wrongdoing.
So relegated 3 or 4 leagues down.
Turn to the conference, man.
And
a good idea will be for Zinchenko to go with them.
Strip them of their titles. It's going to be very, very messy if that happens. But
Zinchenko's not bad. He's just played in around.
Have to rewrite history,
okay.
Tony.
Okay, Tony.
The Premier League will have to rewrite the history book. So get in that DeLorean, Tony, and go back.
And Alonso, I'll just correct you for a second. You went with the wrong oil money. It's Qatari money, not Saudi money.
Oh, same thing, Tony. Kind of.
Arsenal
and
Newcastle aren't spending either. Yeah.
And you know what's going to end up when this is all done and dusted is that Man City will be contacting Real Madrid to join the Super League. Because once they get kicked out the Premier League, right, I can guarantee you they'll be on the phone to Real Madrid and Barcelona and say, "Can we join you in the Super League?"
The Super League's starting this year. Champions League.
I think they can go, Lawrence. They can go for sure.
Yeah, I mean, a good riddance to them.
Listen,
because I know they won't be happy playing Northwich Victoria in the Northern Isthmian League or whatever it's called, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you this is once they're found guilty, and there's no way they could be cleared of all 115 charges. Mm-hmm. Even one of those charges they're found guilty of, they'll be kicked out and they'll be on the phone to Real Madrid and Barcelona asking to join them in the European Super League.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're getting the European Super League this year, Lawrence. That's what the Champions League. You're getting that. That's what the Champions League is this year.
Hey, Tony's saying.
Why they announced it. That's why they announced it the day before the vote. They got everything they wanted, except it went from 10 games to 8 games.
What Tony is saying is it's already evolving into a European Super League. The format has changed now, right, Tony? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but the only difference is they wanted 10 teams in each group.
Yeah.
10 teams.
Yeah.
So you're getting 8 games. 8 games instead of 10 games.
As Tiger and Gooner said, Juventus got demoted, and Gary, Newcastle aren't spending either, right? So 3 or 4 years ago, when Newcastle got bought by these owners, we were told that they are many, many, many times bigger than Man City ownership right now. So we thought by now, Gary, we'd be looking at Newcastle winning the Premier League last 2-3 seasons.
Right, it's 22.
I don't sound like that. Anybody listening right now? That's not my voice speaking right now. I thought I was asking a question. Can I answer it? Can I talk?
Oh, Tony has offered us his sage knowledge.
It's 22 billion versus 400 billion. 22 versus 400. So
what's the ratio?
Basically almost 20 million, 20 times more.
20-1. Okay. Yeah, so a club in the size of Newcastle, you would think, here's what I see as clear evidence of a team, a club who's done things not the right way in Man City and have won things. If Newcastle had followed that blueprint and done what Man City had done, they'd be winning Premier Leagues now, Gary.
Yeah, I guess I guess we'll find out if people really want to go to Newcastle and play. You know, there is something said about getting paid a lot of money, but
they're following the rules, right?
Based on are they following the rules if they kind of do what City did? I don't know about that. So that's going to be the thing.
They haven't done it yet, though, have they?
I think they. I have a feeling the league is trying to stop what City did. All right. Yeah. Even though I don't know how Chelsea's been able to finagle some certain things. So I kind of feel like they found a different way to get around it. Like, think about if. Can I speak? Can I say something? You're. No, let me say.
All right, Tony, give him a second.
No, give Gary some airtime. Think about it. Like if the Newcastle owners decided they wanted to sell some hotels, right? They probably could just sell a city to Newcastle, right? Or, whatnot to create some funds for the team if that's possible, right? They probably have hotels and who knows what in there, like and they can just move it from one company to the next, and voila, there's the funding that they might need to do everything they want. So, I don't know. I think Newcastle doesn't want to they don't want to step on any toes, it seems.
Yeah.
But I think they're hurting themselves because what's the point of having the backing that they do if they're not going to utilize it, especially if, anybody think City's going to get punished?
I think so.
I hope so, but I don't think, I think it's going to be slim.
I can't say with confidence.
Exactly. So
that's what kills me. Tony, did you have anything else to add to that?
I was going to say Gary gave us the answer Monday because he told us how much has Chelsea spent, Gary?
Was it 1.3 billion or something like that?
And how much have they received?
I just received a lot more than pretty much most of any team, I believe. They sell we gave them 65. Think about how much how much we've sold in the last 2 years. Probably not even 65.
Yeah. I want to send Tony. To the gates of Man City and have Tony be the auditor.
To answer Tony's question about Chelsea, similar to what Gary said.
Yeah.
One of the ways that they're trying to balance their books for last season is that they're selling 2 hotels to another one of their companies within their holding group. But what they're also doing is that they're also selling the women's team to another part of the company, and they're trying to sell the women's team for 150 million when last season the women's team only generated 9 million. So obviously when the Premier League people, whoever they are, have to sign these things off, I just hope that they really look at the accounting, because how can you be selling it for 150 million when it actually, the product, the service, or whatever you want to call it, generated 9? That's pretty wide.
What we're starting to see as well is an alliance behind Man City of clubs who are doing similar things. Newcastle, Aston Villa, Chelsea. They're all clubbing in behind Man City. and rebelling against what they're calling the red cartel of Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal. You know, we've seen this through the summer where academy players are being transferred from one of those clubs to another one of those clubs. Everton are part of that as well.
How many of those deals do you think are going to get looked into, right?
Well, they are legitimate. I mean, the fees are inflated, but the fees are probably just enough to allow them to circumvent the PSR rules.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it's like,
You know what I mean?
you're selling like a $5 million player for like 35
20.
million or whatever they've been doing.
Yeah, yeah. And Chelsea are next to get punished, says Tiger and Gunner. That's one hell of a disparity. And
I think, Ray, to answer your question on this, I still think they only get the transfer ban and maybe some money ban. But
Yeah, I think that's nothing. You might as well do nothing.
I think what you got,
$2 million for that latest charge, though, Gary. That's ridiculous as well.
But that's why they did that, though. They did it because they were pissed off that City counters to them. So like, fuck you, you're wasting time. So
that's why I think it's a joke. Like, all right, if we're trying to have if like you are part of our league, we're not part of your league.
Yeah.
You don't want to follow wait, you don't no you don't dictate to us how to run our league. If we think you cheated, you're gonna have to show us why you didn't. And if you're gonna drag your feet in it, then guess what? You just suspend them and punish the team. What's the point of dragging us out, right? Like they are. I mean, ultimately they could have just suspended them and said, here's your deduction of points for one false, for failing to bring information to light in a timely fashion. I mean, just by that could be a 10-point, 20-point swing right there, and then let them, negotiate that down if they want. But at some point, you're making a mockery of the league.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
So,
no, Roll put some good information here as well about Aston Villa's.
Which one of those players you taking, Lawrence?
I just told you.
Ross Barkley for 5 mil.
Ross Barkley.
Onana. But Cameron Archer.
You can't afford 50 mil for an Onana.
Lewis Dobbin, Enzo Barakanea.
Barely afford it. 35 for a Merino. So
that's. I'm just trying to add all this up. That's about 100 million right there, maybe even more. It's a decent chunk of change.
It is interesting that Arteta doesn't take those types of like Ross Barkley type players who still have their wits about them, still have the talent, and come cheap and can actually provide like you can bring in a Jorginho, you can bring in a Ross Barkley, as far as I'm concerned.
Maybe it's about personality.
Yeah.
Sure.
I guess do you think of Ross Barkley as some kind of a loudmouth or high maintenance type player?
He's different.
No, I don't. I mean, from what we see, right? Because I can only go by what we see on the pitch, right? I don't see anything from him that leads me to believe that he's a hothead and he would clash with the locker room. He went to Luton and actually and actually did work there, right?
Well, could he improve? Could he improve in the areas of the field that he would play? Could he improve us?
It's better than what we have. In some places we have nothing. Right? He would actually come in and help us, I think, in certain situations.
Can he play left back? Can he play left wing back for us?
Is that where he plays, though? I thought he plays a little higher up the pitch.
Can he play striker?
Okay. Wasn't he at Villa before?
Money
Evans.
5 mil is what they bought him for.
But wasn't he already?
Would have been great. Yeah.
Oh no. But wasn't he already? Wasn't he at Villa before, or he was at Everton, Chelsea, Luton?
Yep. As
what else?
Arsene Wenger used to say, we are looking for a player with super quality. That's what Arsene Wenger used to say.
That's how we got Arshavin, right? Isn't that how we got Arshavin?
Yeah.
And
Arshavin was pretty decent.
he was good, man. I like
Plays
him.
anywhere in the center, so
Him and Podolski.
second mid, I didn't realize-
Podolski's left leg should have a statue.
It was unreal.
What he could do with that leg is just so much power in that thing.
Podolski, yeah.
Very. What teams did Barkley play for? He played for. Did he play for Everton or excuse me, Aston Villa before, or was this his first time? He's like a journeyman now.
No, he's at Villa.
Oh.
He played for Luton the year before. He was
Plus
he
Barkley.
was at OGC.
Chelsea, Everton,
Oh,
He was
nice.
Chelsea.
Tottenham player.
Then he was at Chelsea.
Yeah, Everton, right? Everton.
He went on loan, I think, to Everton. So
Oh, that's right.
I think
All right.
you know what? Yeah, he was on Everton. He actually played for Leeds on loan. So Sheffield United played for Sheffield Wednesday. He played on loan. So
he's what you call a journeyman.
Yeah,
journeyman footballer. We'll stick around for about another 10 or 15 minutes. Tony, do you want to get into any of the WGAF games this weekend?
They have a new name, but
What's that?
I want you to decide though, Ray.
Oh, I decide.
What's WGAF?
Who gives a fuck games?
Who gives a fuck game of the week? But this year, it's got a new name, right?
Why are we doing this, Ray? Why are you enabling this?
We got a new name.
I'm weak and tired.
We got a new name, but first I dropped one dice on the floor and I rolled another one. So are we gonna go with the left dice or the right dice?
What?
Let's go with the right dice. Okay, we have to vote on this. Right. I'm going to go with right. Gary, left or right?
No. Orange.
Tony, come
Not
on.
playing this
Keep
game.
it moving, Tony.
You went with the right.
I
So
forgot.
that was
All right,
number
Dad.
6. So
We're
so
going to roll
that's a
this up
sex
anyway.
template for
Cheers,
our
mate.
first
Thanks for
ever
joining.
Who Gives a Fuck game of the week, except
me.
for Alonzo.
Tony's going to do his thing, Stan.
What
So we
All
got
right.
6 of them.
Tony, what's going on?
We got 6 of them, and the first one's gonna be Ipswich versus Liverpool. The second one would be
That is
Everton
not
versus.
qualification.
Well, actually,
For-
Tony,
that's not
I
a
want to see
qualification
that
for-
game.
Liverpool can destroy Ipswich if they come. It's not going to be that's not going to be a game I don't want to see.
That could be
Yeah,
either
you-
way, Gary. That could go
Yeah,
either way anyway.
It's not your choice, Gary.
Oh wow.
You don't even know how to run your own show. I'm sorry if I'm helping you out here.
Oh.
This might be his one and only chance to host this.
Not only
slot.
that, but your host is a
this
Liverpool
slot.
fan, and you're putting Liverpool in that category of game. So I don't. I think that's a bad move.
Everton versus Brighton. Newcastle versus Southampton. You got
Everton versus who? Brighton? Yeah. Southampton.
no Southampton. Southampton. Then you got Forest versus.
Forest
Bournemouth.
versus Bournemouth.
You're making
Not a
this up,
great
aren't
game.
you? Are you making it up as you go along?
Then you got for the last one, last of the 6. You got Brentford versus Crystal Palace.
It's funny because I care about all those games.
Do you know why? Do you know why, Alonso? Because this is the first weekend of a new season, right?
And this was the first
Yeah.
ever Who Gives
Yeah,
a Fuck
this is the
game
first-
of the week except for Alonso.
We're going to be trying to
Your
watch. We're trying to watch every game. And you know what? A lot of things can happen on this first weekend. You can get newly promoted teams, such as Ipswich or Leicester, coming up. Southampton even going to Newcastle. Who knows? I actually think
Okay.
Ipswich Town got a chance against Liverpool, says Stefan. But they could have given Ipswich an easier start than Liverpool or than City.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Ray was
I want to give you my.
Go ahead.
I want to give you my I really care about match of the week.
Now we're gonna have 2 segments. Oh my gosh.
Well, mine is short,
Really
Gary.
do.
Just this week. Just this week.
Actually, it's every week. So
I think I've got a can.
my really.
Go, Alonzo.
Right. So my game of the week, I'm really looking forward to. unlike Tony right there, is Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth. And why you
Looking
say?
forward to the Arsenal match. I don't know about you.
Well, my contender for what I do my contender, my second contender would be Arsenal versus Wolves. So there you go.
Yes.
Nobody sits above Arsenal. So I don't
That's
know.
a joke, Gary. Have a sense of humor.
No,
Wow.
don't be playing around with my Arsenal, okay? This is no joke.
So tomorrow is going to be interesting. We got Man United at home to Fulham. Man United seem to be unlucky with injuries again this season. They've got quite a few injuries. They're not able to bed their team in yet. And Fulham might be a decent shout with a Middlesbrough Road going to Old Trafford. We'll be watching for that one. On Saturday, Ipswich Town versus Liverpool. You never know. A newly promoted team playing at home, they always have a chance on the first day of the season. So Liverpool, watch out for that. Arsenal versus Wolves. Really, Arsenal should be in control of that game. And we want to see really good football with about a 2 or 3 goal differential at the end. Everton versus Brighton. It's a first WGAF game. The Arsenal Wolves one, I really want to see that one, as Alonso would say. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Then we got on Sunday, we got Man City versus Chelsea. Maresca up against Pep. Will Chelsea be able to inflict something on Man City on the first weekend of the season? And then on Monday, Leicester City at home to Tottenham. Will Tottenham remain Tottenham? As rules said, Basuma suspended for Tottenham's first game. Because I think he got sent off at the tail end of last season, right?
I have a prediction that Leicester City's will be the most picked by the panel.
What?
I said I think that's going to be the most picked by everybody in the contest.
And Tony, you enjoying the contest this year?
Yes, I believe he is.
I'm waiting for a clear set of rules. Since verbal
Okay,
didn't
so
work
the rules
last
are.
Right, okay.
Here's the most important
my
rule.
God.
Your pick has to be in 3 hours before the first game kicks off.
Done. Easy. Let's move on. All right.
Easy. Move on. All right, Gary, we'll wind it up. Gary, unless you've got anything else to say, thank you for talking about the Kevin Campbell spot as well. That was important.
Are we heading? Are we turning off now? We are checking out.
Yeah, unless you want to turn the attention
say hello,
on.
Say thanks to everybody in the chat for joining us.
Yeah.
Lawrence, Lonzo, Stan, Tony, Ray. It's been fun.
Rule.
Do it again.
Tiger, Stefan.
Rule, Tiger.
A lot of people picking Chelsea to beat City. Yeah. So yeah, Gary, you'll probably be going live on kickoff on same time as Arsenal.
The road trip will be on at its customary time. Just happens to be a football game, so we multitask. We do it all. Watch along and give you all the scores.
Yes.
No highlights.
Gary,
We're allowed to do that.
Watch along and
pass up or watch along.
What?
So you could ever pass up or watch along.
No, but not when, especially when my show's on.
All right, Tony, thanks for joining. I don't know if we're going to continue your section. The WGAF.
He picked like over half the games, and then games with teams
Yeah.
that I think he put in the top 4.
You'll be watching them, Tony, just like the World Cup. I know you watched the World Cup.
No, I did not. And I still haven't seen a clip either.
I'm not doing fantasy. I'm not doing fantasy league group. No.
So Ray, after this week, are you gonna put your WGAF?
Yeah, I'll put them after them. Yeah.
Because you didn't do it this week.
Agree. You can agree or disagree with me. Tony, thanks for joining. Anything wise to say as your final word?
Tony and Wise.
Yep.
He does.
It came up at a show I was watching.
Lawrence is listening now. Come on, make it good.
Since we got what Gary was talking about, we're gonna go with YOLO. You only live once.
You only live once, exactly. You said it like you're one of the young kids out there. YOLO.
That's in hope that Arteta hears it. And he puts
All
on
right.
some of the younglings.
I gotta go downstairs with my sporting brother Alonso. This is going to be the year, Alonso. It's going to be Arsenal, the Phillies, the Eagles, and anything else. Martin Truex.
Yeah.
This is the year of the Eagles and the Arsenal.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Every year, it's like Christmas, right? And you go to bed, wake up early, and waiting for Santa Claus. In this case, Arteta Claus, aka Arteta Claus, and looking for a good showing. Really, I believe in this team. I believe in this team from day one. I think Arteta, has his team going, and looking forward to us hopefully winning the title this year. Seems like we had a good team now, and it seems like we can overcompensate for injuries nowadays, and that's a good thing. I think we made some good signings over the past 2 years that will solidify us as being title contenders. And looking forward to watching the game on Saturday. Looking to see how we look, and so hopefully we'll get a win and be a good start to the season.
Yeah, look, there's one thing I'm held over. I'll talk about it on Sunday, but it's basically a forward that I think we should go after. It's in the description in this podcast, so if you want to read the description, do that. Alonzo, Gary, Tony, thanks for joining.
Make sure you have 45 minutes to sit there and read through.
Should be 45 characters. All right.
Ray's novella down there.
Lawrence.
You
get to close the show out. It's a big honor.
Okay. Well, I hope you all enjoy the Mikel Merino watch at the weekend.
I'll be there.
When it's supposed to be a done deal.
I'll be there.
When Onana was supposed to be a done deal for us. So I'm just going to love it when it all blows up in Edu's face. And again, we're questioning the transfer activity of this football club that we support.
Lawrence,
but come on, you Gunners.
You'll be happy. You'll be happy when we get him in.
Yeah, I'll be happy because I know what's going to happen with Mikel Merino, right? It's going to drag on till the end of the transfer window, and it's going to blow up in Edu's face. And we're going to have to question Edu and Arteta again about their business in the transfer market.
Well, I don't think we've had to question Edu for a long time yet so far. So we'll see.
Because I'm not excited. I'm not excited.
There's a director of football at Liverpool who hasn't done anything yet. So missed out on Zubimendi.
I bet you he brings someone in before we do.
We already brought somebody in, so it's too late.
Calafiori. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
He It's Merino versus Zubimendi, and Zubimendi's out of the picture. We just need to bring Merino home. Edu hopefully does that at the weekend as well. And we have some good news Saturday or Sunday.
Enough. Fuck does this thing keep flipping me on my phone?
It's tired of you talking nonsense.
If you turn it sideways, it's going to happen. You know, it's
no, it's
physics.
flat. It's flat. It's an iPad.
It's physics and gravity.
Laptop size. No, it's not.
Find it odd that sometimes have to visit late. Yeah,
that's the who gives a fuck moment of Arsenal fans circle. Tony's screen going sideways.
Yeah. That's number WGAF number 6, Tony. All right, we're out of here. Thanks everybody for being here. Appreciate all of you on the panel this coming season. Appreciate all of you in the chat box. And Tony needs 10 more seconds.
Yep.
Why does he have to be the last word we hear?
Can you please inform our, I don't know.
Yes, that's to say bye. Say bye, Tony.
No, just tell Lawrence that we talk after the show. He doesn't have to immediately eject.
If Lawrence doesn't want to talk to you, do you not understand? He talked to you for like more. He talked to you for like 2 hours and 30 minutes longer than he wanted to.
And what we may do as well, we'll drop a link. Maybe not tonight, but in future shows, we'll drop a link in the chat box. If anybody in the chat box wants to come and say hello, backstage.
I think you should do it tonight, Ray.
I want to say hi to Stefan.
All right, we're out of here. Thanks, Gary. Go. Get away while you can, Gary.
Right,
look, he's left already. Tony, he didn't take you up on that invitation.
All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Bye.
Enjoy. Yeah.
Come on, the Arsenal. 3 points. We go 3 points collecting on Saturday.